bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Idaho.
This message presented by the IHSAA and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
May I offer you one of our finest selections? Delicious, rich in protein, and locally produced right here in Idaho. Excellent choice, sir.
Satisfied viewing customer, aisle 10.
Dad's home.
I'm home.
Did you get the good stuff?
He's bringing it up. He's going in. He scores!
Idaho's 529 can be used at any in-state or out-of-state 2- or 4-year college or university. Can be used at a trade school for an apprenticeship.
Whatever it is that your kid is interested in, that's available for them to use the fund.
I really like the flexibility. It gives Wild the opportunity to pursue a whole array of training.
So whatever your child's passion is, you can support that.
To learn more, go to idsaves.org.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
It's that time again. Time to get the health insurance you need for next year. Open enrollment is the time for you to enroll in, renew, or change your coverage. At Your Health Idaho, you can save money with a tax credit on the plan that's best for you and your family. Don't wait. Open enrollment ends December 15th. More coverage, less cost. Only at yourhealthidaho.org. Enroll by December 15th.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Live from Donna Larson Park in Boise, it is the 6A semifinals here tonight as the Coeur d'Alene Vikings get set to take on the Timberline Wolves. Alongside my broadcast partner, Craig Miller, I'm Sven Elskog. Glad you could join us today wherever you may be. As always, want to let you know that this game is broadcast and made possible thanks to the support of our sponsors, including Project Filter, your local Toyota dealer, Your Health Idaho, Next Steps Idaho, Ideal, Idaho's College Savings Plan, the Idaho Bowl, Valleywide Cooperative, and the Idaho Office of Highway Safety. Again, glad to be here tonight in Boise. These teams are fighting for a spot in the state championship game. It's what you play all year for, and now not too far away.
Oh, what a great, beautiful evening for football. It's been in the mid-60s here in Boise today, so it's not cold. It's a perfect night, a little cool, but two great teams out here to fight to go to the finals, and we're excited to watch a great game tonight.
It is the 9-1 Timberline Wolves. They come in 4-1 in the 6A SIC. Coeur d'Alene 7-3 overall in the season, and 2-0 in the 6A Inland Empire League. Local sponsors for the Coeur d'Alene Vikings include Tim's Special Cut Meats, Super One Foods, and Pioneer Title Company. Tim's Special Cut Meats is your local old-fashioned butcher shop. Besides top-notch butchering and game processing services, they also sell premium meats, specialty groceries, and delicious deli goods, plus beef, pork, lamb, and buffalo, as well as smoked sausages and jerky. Better than the large retail outlets, Tim's is homegrown. Stop by today for custom cut meats, seasonings, grills, smokers, and more at their new location, 525 North Graffiti Street in Post Falls. You can also find out more online at timsspecialcutmeats.com. We look forward to hearing more from our sponsors as we go on here today. Big storyline coming into this, and we saw it in the pregame, Craig. Timberline will be without starting quarterback Jack Brandt here for this evening's football game. He is a UC Davis commit, so that is a huge blow for the Wolves.
Yeah, that's big for the Wolves. They've been a pretty pass-heavy offense all year. To see him come out in street clothes, not participating, not sure what's wrong with him, but that'll be a big hit for the Wolves tonight, who's kind of resurrected their team this year. They've been a surprise to many teams in the SIC. Have come through and have done a great job to win the league and beat the mountain of the team, or Mountain League, Rocky Mountain this year, and to get to this point. So it'll be interesting to see what they come out in offensively to do that. Coeur d'Alene, of course, is always one of the beasts up north and come through the playoffs. So regular in the state playoffs for Idaho.
Take a look at the paths on how both of these teams got here. Timberline won their quarterfinal matchup against Middleton last week, 21-7. It was the only team that they lost to during the regular season, 26-12, back on October 2nd. A nice rebound win for Timberline last week, however.
Yeah, they came back and were able to kind of slay the demons and take care of Middleton to get back in the semifinal games. Exciting to see them be able to come back and do that. Obviously, great team, but not just that. They just got awarded the academic state championship for the state of Idaho out on the field. So a lot of smart young men on this team as well. So be able to bounce back and have that right mentality to do that.
As the national anthem about to take place down on the field here from Donna Larson Park. This is IdahoSports.com's coverage of the 2025 Idaho State football playoffs. Back right after this from Boise.
Idaho's 529 can be used at any in-state or out-of-state 2- or 4-year college or university. Can be used at a trade school for an apprenticeship.
Whatever it is that your kid is interested in, that's available for them to use the fund.
I really like the flexibility. It gives Wild the opportunity to pursue a whole array of training.
So whatever your child's passion is, you can support that.
To learn more, go to idsaves.org.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Back in the booth at Donna Larson Park, we mentioned how Timberline got here last week with a quarterfinal victory. On the other side, it was a 42-14 handling of the Madison Bobcats by Coeur d'Alene. And in that one, it was a lot of things coming way of the defense. Maddox Lindquist, 3 interceptions in that football game for the Coeur d'Alene Vikings, including an 80-yard touchdown. And when you turn the opponent over that many times in a game, a lot of good things are going to happen for you.
Yeah, it's hard to win when you're turning the ball over that many times. They beat a good Madison team that competed well on the eastern side of the state this year, and so that's got to be giving them some confidence moving forward. Of course, their quarterback went out earlier this year, so they're dealing a little bit with that as well. But they've had a few games to get used to the new quarterback. So.
You mentioned it, Caden Simmons, their senior quarterback, broke his collarbone earlier this season. He's an Evansville men's basketball signing, and so he will not be playing. However, the quarterback has played awfully well. Tanner Stern, the junior for Coeur d'Alene last week, 20 of 27 for 241 yards, and he's got some wide receivers to watch out for, including Lindquist, who we just mentioned. He had 5 grabs for 71 yards last week. So both sides of the football, Lindquist will make an impact.
Yes, he will. It'll be fun to see how he works. And you always worry this time of year a little bit. They're worn down or a little bit tired from playing both ways, especially in the 6A level. So physical and so tough. Got to be in great shape to do that. Keep everybody healthy.
So this is one half of the semifinals. The other semifinal about set to kick off in eastern Idaho. It's the Rigby Trojans taking on the Rocky Mountain Grizzlies. 7 o'clock kickoff right here on IdahoSports.com. We'll have a free and live audio stream of that one as well. At Super One Foods, compromise is not an option. They set the standard first. They have lower prices, and second, they make your dollar stretch further. Visit any Super One Foods in Rathdrum, Hayden, Coeur d'Alene, Post Falls, Sandpoint, or Bonners Ferry, and you'll see they set the standard, and they say, go Vikings. And founded in 1949, Pioneer Title Company is an employee-based company centered around a going beyond culture which fosters the principles of family, respect, and openness. Pioneer offers title and escrow products, long-term escrows, contract purchasing, foreclosure services, and 1031 tax-deferred exchanges. They provide services in Idaho, Oregon, Nevada, Washington, and Wyoming. Call 208-664-8254 to set up an appointment. Pioneer Title, proud supporter of Coeur d'Alene Athletics, and wants to wish them luck here in today's game.
Yeah, we're going to start a few minutes early here, looks like. Coeur d'Alene's going to receive the opening kickoff.
Clear conditions on a beautiful November night, 54 degrees at kickoff from Boise as the left-footed kicker for the Timberline Wolves gets set to kick deep. Timberline in the all-black uniforms tonight with white for the lettering, and Coeur d'Alene blue pants, white tops, and blue for their lettering. As J.D. Mylander will kick it out of bounds right about the 32-yard line, and that is where the visiting Vikings will get their opportunity on offense for the first time here tonight.
I think if he would have kept that in bound, it was either been a pretty good collision there or a chance for Timberline to maybe take that ball out of the air. That was pretty high up there. It almost looked like a punt more than a kickoff.
He looped it up there a little bit. Is the first time that we'll have the opportunity to hear from our District 6 officiating crew here today. The white hat is Marshall Marler, umpire J.C. Meekum, linesman Brett Barton, line judge Blair Peepo, field judge Chandler Coombs, side judge Kyle Martin, and the back judge is Brian Miller. Again, officiating crew out of eastern Idaho in the 6th District. Motion man for Coeur d'Alene is dropping back to pass and getting annihilated on the first play of the football game is Tanner Stern, the sack made by Benton Bates.
Benton just came off the corner there unblocked, and before he could get the ball away, he was in his face, ready to go. Great first play for Timberline.
So they bring the heat on play number 1, and Coeur d'Alene will come right back out in the shotgun. One back to the right of Stern, 2 wide receivers on each side of the field, and the Vikings will hand off for the first time. Ty Pollen, the senior back. And not a lot there after the huge loss on first down. They get back to the 32, and that brings up a 3rd down and 16.
Yeah, that was tough to hit that, have that first down play and get behind the sticks so much.
First couple of downs always so critical on the offensive side of things. When you get the 4, 5, 6 yard moving forward, it goes a long way. That didn't happen for Coeur d'Alene, and it's not going to happen here either. Ball loose on the ground. Mad scramble for it as a sack fumble, and the Timberline Wolves recover. Andrew Price on the fumble recovery for the Wolves.
Yeah, that was another one. They just did not block either defensive end very well, and came in, and his quarterback tried to roll right to get out of it. Held the ball a little loose out to his side, still trying to pass, and Ball gets knocked out on the ground, and too many Timberline defenders there came up with the ball.
2 sacks on the first drive, as Tanner Stern was under constant pressure for Coeur d'Alene on 2 of the 3 plays there. Both dropbacks. The run obviously gained 4 yards, but other than that, not a whole lot there, as the first offensive play of the game for Timberline will be from inside the red zone at the 18. First down, as out of the gun is Hudson Lewis, playing quarterback. Listed on the roster, obviously, as a wide receiver. He is a University of Utah commit. He will be getting the snaps here tonight with Jack Brandt unable to play.
That was a good play to start off a new quarterback there. Probably first rep in a game. And just a little quick rollout, easy throw, easy catch. Good gain of 8 yards there, get him going.
I expect to see the Wolves try and figure out a way to get him acclimated into the football game effectively here early. It's 2nd down and 2, ball on the right hash from the 10-yard line in Coeur d'Alene territory. Handoff right side, and a bunch of bodies there for the Vikings. We'll see if the official spot will give him the first down. I think he might be just shy. No, they'll give it to him. First down and goal upcoming.
Just got enough there. Pretty good push on both sides of the offensive and defensive line, but was able to push forward and get the first down.
Timberline's offensive line, an awfully good one, led by the left tackle, which is Andrew Price, who got the fumble recovery on the previous drive. Couple men in the backfield with Lewis, a 3-wide receiver look. Lewis on the handoff up the gut, or Timberline, and we'll give it to, trying to see the number down there for Timberline on the carry.
Yeah, I got the tackle on 31 for Coeur d'Alene. That's Priest Palmgren playing linebacker. Outside linebacker just came down and right down the line made that tackle.
As we're getting used to some different guys getting the football, going to be probably a lot of runs here today. Brody Engroff is the back, 5'9" junior for the Wolves. 2nd down and goal from the 6-yard line. Engroff on the carry right side and gets inside the 5 to the 3, a gain of 3, and a 3rd down and goal upcoming.
I was just looking, they've got number 56, Hudson Snook, listed as a 5'9" D lineman, but fullback in the backfield, leading up in front there, trying to get a good block in, trying to get some angles. It's rare to see somebody with a 59 number in the backfield.
Timberline, the benefactor of a sack fumble on Coeur d'Alene's first offensive drive, trying to turn it in to a touchdown. As Lewis receives it, and he has guys on him right away, gets away from it initially and gets back to the original line at the 3 on the far side of the field. And a 4th down and goal for the Wolves, and a decision for the first time tonight for head coach Ian Smart.
Yeah, you can definitely see Hudson Lewis and his athleticism down there. He had 2 guys chasing him in the backfield, still ended up getting a yard on that play.
And the decision is made. The Wolves are going to go for it. Offense stays out on the field on this first drive. Following the turnover, Lewis, quarterback keeper. He's got some speed, tries to stretch it out. Timberline sideline thinks he got in. The officials coming in from both sides. No signal yet. It's a stop. Stuffed at the 1-yard line, and Coeur d'Alene turns them over on downs.
That was a great stop by Timberline. There's not much room between the ball and the goal line there, so great job to get that stopped. He had a good head of speed. Hudson Lewis did, trying to get in the end zone, and they stopped him just short.
So both defenses come up on the first offensive drives for both teams here today.
Yeah, Coeur d'Alene's got to be careful here. They can't afford a sack or it's going to be a safety.
As they'll come right up behind the center and run a quarterback sneak for Tanner Stern, and he gets more than a few. Give him 4 to the 5-yard line on a quarterback sneak. They got a little bit of a push right there.
Yeah, it's the best offensive play of the game so far. And just to get out of the end zone, once again, the hurry-up offense, they don't get in the huddle. Play signal in from the sideline and keep rolling.
The Vikings employ the tush push on that one.
They haven't outlawed that in high school yet, I don't think.
2nd down and 6. Shotgun, Stern. Difficulty with the handoff, and Timberline will make them pay for it. At about the 1 yard line, depends on the spot. They may be a little generous and say he got forward progress, but right there again is Andrew Price on defense.
Yeah, Coeur d'Alene offensive line right now is struggling picking up the Timberline defensive line, and that was almost a disaster again. We'll see what they do on another 3rd down play.
Deep in their own territory are the Vikings. A 3rd down and 8 from the 3. This drive started inside the 1. Motion man for the Vikings is Ian Dolan. And an audible at the line. Stern looking to the sideline.
I think they were trying to see where the pressure was going to come from and decided to audibilize on that and shift their protection a little.
As they shift the protection, he'll roll left and be chased yet again by Andrew Price. It wasn't Price that hauled him down. Different man over there, and I'm going to say is Benton Bates. But my word, there's pressure in the backfield every single play coming from Andrew Price.
I was thinking this was going to be a fairly high-octane offensive game, but so far both defenses have really showed up.
Shows what the experts know, right?
Yeah, nobody called me an expert, so we'll keep trying.
Craig Miller, everyone.
Yes.
You never know what you're going to get, right? A punt, tons of pressure on the punt, just evades Austin Engroff's hand and takes a terrible bounce for Coeur d'Alene. That punt, the net is going to be hardly anything. The 22-yard line will be where Timberline starts. So for the 2nd offensive drive in a row, phenomenal starting field position.
Yeah, you got to feel in a situation like this, Timberline's got to come away with some points.
Their last drive stalled out. A turnover on downs after a sack fumble on drive number 1 that their defense forced. Sweet play. Fletch Scudder. He has some yards. Give him 8 or 9 right side inside the 15.
I think Timberline has a lot of great athletes, and your job as a coach tonight without your starting quarterback is to see how many athletes you can get the ball in different situations and let them go to work.
The official spot will be the 14.
Good 1st down play to grab about 8.
Ball on the right hash, 2nd down and 2 after the 8-yard gain. 4 minutes and 18 seconds and counting in the 1st quarter. Sweet play right side, Scudder one more time. He's right to the sticks. And he's got it. 1st down, Timberline.
Similar play, just get Scudder the ball, have him go around the right, pick up a couple yards, get that 1st down.
We mentioned playing without Jack Brandt here tonight. Man who over 2,100 passing yards and 26 touchdowns on the season. So as a result, I think you'll see a lot more of the run game for the Wolves than we're probably accustomed to. Brody Engroff this time of carry.
It was a nice little counter play, go on the other side there. Pick up a couple yards. Just looking at a couple, I'm kind of noticing Andrew Price, that big left tackle, also playing defensive line for Timberline. He came off after last defensive series, looked a little tired. It seems like he's struggling a little bit to get going as much.
Joe Caroselli also out there on the offensive line. We'll tell you about the rest of them as we move forward tonight. They've got some good ones, do the Wolves. Lewis trying to run behind the back to the left side. And that's a nice 2nd down play to gain about 5 or 6 yards. Brings up a 3rd down and short as we're under 3 minutes in the opening quarter.
Yeah, Lewis has a great first step. He gets up to speed quickly, and when he finds a hole, he tries to get up through there fast. So 3rd and 5, trying to pick up another 1st down.
Ball spotted inside the 10 at the, we'll say, 7 or 8 yard line. They can get the first down without getting a touchdown. 2 receivers split up top, 1 down to the bottom. Play action pass for Lewis, and right off the hands of his intended target, which was Isaac Mills, the tight end.
That was a good play, just a little bit behind the tight end, made it hard to catch and dropped the ball. So I think this is, looks like they're coming out for a field goal try now. That's smart to try and get some points on the board after having 2 possessions, really good field position.
So Timberline looking to strike first in this football game as Hagan Clint on for the field goal. And it's right down the middle and good. 24-yard field goal for Hagan Clint. And the Wolves are on the board. Well, if you're Timberline, you'd like to have 14 after those 2 great starting field position drives, but they'll take anything right now, get on the board, and get rolling in this game.
Yeah, exactly. You got to take some points, get some more momentum. It'd be hard to come down in a 4th down play there and actually not get any points after you've had that kind of field position. So
with 2 minutes and 14 seconds on the clock in the first quarter, the Wolves 3 and the Vikings 0. And our local sponsors for the Coeur d'Alene Vikings here tonight are Tim's Special Cut Meats, Super One Foods, and Pioneer Title Company. All 12 games throughout the state of Idaho broadcast on IdahoSports.com tonight. We've got 6 audio broadcasts and 6 video broadcasts that we are producing. The video broadcasts also going out on the NFHS network here tonight. As the Wolves will kick right to left, 2 men back deep to receive for Coeur d'Alene. Ty Pollen is one of them, along with Jackson Hackett.
Just J.D. Melander, number 40. Another high, short kick. Called for a fair catch there at the 30, 31.
Hudson Gray on the fair catch, as that seems to be the strategy for Timberline, not really give Coeur d'Alene much of an opportunity on a return.
I have not seen it, but it makes me wonder if Coeur d'Alene has in the season had some good returns, and they don't want to give them opportunity to try and break something open that way.
Coeur d'Alene always known for plenty of explosive players on the field. This year, obviously, no exception to that.
They've really struggled on the offensive line. We'll see if they've made some adjustments here.
Tight formation on this play. Stearns pass over the middle, intercepted. Hudson Lewis on the pick, and he's out of bounds inside the 25-yard line.
Hudson Lewis all over the field.
Quarterback on one side, defensive back on the other, and you can see why he's heading to the Big 12. Future Utah Ute.
I didn't see who tipped that up, but one of the linebackers tipped that up in the air, and Hudson Lewis was in the right place at the right time, came down with it, and had a nice return.
The official spot will be a little bit back from what we initially thought. It'll be the 23-yard line, 1st and 10, ball right hash. The Wolves to park their sideline, and we'll head on out there for the first play of this drive, and they have started, Craig, all 3 times inside the 25.
Yeah, 3 drives inside the 25 starting position. You got to get some points. I'd say they really need a touchdown here.
Their defense really carrying their water so far in this football game.
Yeah, both defenses are playing great assignment defense. You don't see any gaps or holes. They're just playing their gaps on both sides of the ball and being able to cause some disruption on the offenses.
4-yard gain on 1st down as they keep it on the ground. 2nd down and 6. And the spot at the 19. 1:35 opening quarter. 3-0 Timberline here on IdahoSports.com's coverage of the 2025 6A state football playoffs. Semi-final action here tonight from Donald Larson Park in Boise.
Great matchup of 2 really good teams. A lot of these kids will be going off to play in college somewhere soon, and great matchup.
Good for Idaho football to have so many talented athletes. Hudson Lewis showing he has some arm as well. Ball across the middle into the end zone. Touchdown Timberline. Hayden Hills on the catch. A 19-yard strike from Lewis.
That was a nice pass. They faked the run up front, brought the linebackers up, threw the ball right in between the safety and the cornerback for a touchdown catch there.
9-0, they'll come out for the PAT. As Hagan Clint got the field goal earlier, and he'll get the PAT here as well. 10-0 Timberline, 1:05 on the clock in the first. So to this point, we've seen very little of the Coeur d'Alene offense because they've been forced into a turnover every time they've had it.
Yeah, they've been really struggling, number one, getting some protection from the O-line, and that could be a combination of their offensive line and Timberline's D-line is just, they are tough. They're ripping through, they're hitting the gaps, they're doing everything they need to be doing, causing some turnovers, causing havoc in the backfield. So Coeur d'Alene's got to make some adjustments, whether it's line and O-line one way or another, bringing the back in to help, especially on passing downs, trying to get the quarterback some time and some attention so that he can make some plays, get the ball to his playmakers.
I think this is a moment in the football game where you kind of push the reset button. You say, let's go back to simple things. As to this point in the game, not a whole lot has worked on the offensive side for Coeur d'Alene. Head coach Sean Amos has been around a long time, and he knows how to make himself some in-game adjustments, though.
Yeah, I think he'll make some good adjustments. He's been at this. He's seen it probably 100 times over his career, a situation like this, and knows what to do, knows how to get his kids rallied and get them going.
No stranger to the semifinals, the pooch kick, and again, out of bounds on the Timberline side, just past the 30-yard line. Another penalty as they seem content to either kick it out of bounds or kick it so high it's a fair catch every time.
Yeah, Coeur d'Alene, you could do a lot worse for an opening field position. Every one of their drives has been at least outside of the 30. Except for the one where they had the stop down on the 1 foot line. So it's a chance to do something with the ball, go back to reset, get your offensive running, know what you can do, and get the boys going.
Let's see what the Vikings draw up on this drive, as it has not been a whole lot of forward momentum when the offense has the ball so far. They've been under constant pressure from this aggressive Timberline front, led by Andrew Price, who had a sack fumble on the first offensive drive. Play number 3 for Coeur d'Alene of the football game. That kind of established the tone. In fact, play number 1 was a sack as well.
Yes, 2 sacks in that first drive. Hard to get going.
Shotgun handoff right up the gut for Bear Coltman, the junior. And that is a nice gain for the Coeur d'Alene Vikings of 7 or 8 yards out to the 48.
It was looking, looks like the offensive coordinator, Ron Nelson, called in a play, looked at what the defense was going to do, and called an audible to make that change at the line, and that was a good adjustment to gain 8 yards on that play.
We just mentioned the in-game adjustments. This coaching staff is all over it. They'll empty the backfield. Man comes in motion up toward the top. Quarterback keeper trying to change their eye level. Tanner Stern coming near sideline. Stiff arms the man and fumbles the football. He tried to get a couple extra yards. The ball's loose on the near sideline. No signal yet from this officiating crew. It looked to me like he was out of bounds already.
Yeah, it kind of looked like the ball was out of bounds. We'll see what they decide to signal.
And that is exactly what the officiating crew will say here. Out of bounds, which is a good call. They're all over it. In fact, they came up into the booth earlier, introduced themselves, and they said they were from District 6. I thought, boy, this is going to be a good crew here tonight, Craig.
Yeah, good crew. That's my old region, is Region 6. So a lot of these gentlemen I know, and they're one of the best crews over on that side of the state.
Stern spins in the pocket, looking left, pocket suddenly collapsing, and he is dropped and sacked again. The Timberline Wolves, Evan Anders was in there on the sack, along with Evan Paschke.
I haven't seen this many guys in the backfield in a long time. Stern ran around, couldn't find an open man, thought he'd try and get outside, but it was a good job by the DN to contain and not let him out.
And that takes us to the end of the first quarter. After one complete, your score, Timberline 10, Coeur d'Alene, nothing. We'll keep it right here. And thanks to some of our local sponsors, including Tim's Special Cut Meats. They're your local old-fashioned butcher shop. Besides top-notch butchering and game processing services, they also sell premium meats, specialty groceries, and delicious deli goods, plus beef, pork, lamb, and buffalo, as well as smoked sausages and jerky. They're better than the large retail outlets. Tim's is homegrown. Stop by today for custom-cut meats, seasonings, grills, smokers, and more at their new location, 525 North Graffiti Street in Post Falls. You can also find out more online at timsspecialcutmeats.com. And founded in 1949, Pioneer Title Company is an employee-based company centered around a going beyond culture which fosters the principles of family respect and openness. Pioneer offers title and escrow products, long-term escrows, contract purchasing, foreclosure services, and 1031 tax-deferred exchanges. They provide services in Idaho, Oregon, Nevada, Washington, and Wyoming. Call 208-664-8254 to set up an appointment. Pioneer Title, proud supporter of Coeur d'Alene Athletics, and wants to wish them luck in today's game. We got 2 scores in that first quarter. At the 2:14 mark, it was a field goal connected on by Hagan Clint. And then with 1:05 in the opening quarter, Lewis DeHills, a 19-yard pass connection on a strike from Lewis. Playing a different position than he's normally accustomed to out there, but he's looking pretty good at quarterback.
He's had a couple of nice passes, and he's had several nice runs. Just an athlete.
And we are underway in the second quarter with a handoff for the Vikings. Let's see if they can get the run game rolling. That was Priest Palmgren.
Yeah, Stern had a good run down there where he fumbled right at the end, had good field position, but once again pushed them back to a second and long, now a third and long with that sack.
3rd and 15 just underway, second quarter of play. Football is in Timberline territory inside the 35, and a penalty flag thrown right where the tackle was made. Would venture to guess right in the area of either a hold or a face mask.
Yeah, we'll see who this one helps. If it's on Coeur d'Alene, of course you decline that, so it's 4th down.
Another opportunity to hear from the white hat Marshall Marler. Penalty declined. It was on Timberline, a hold. And so 4th down, a decision. We mentioned it's 4th down and 15 from the 33. They're kind of in no man's land.
And the first time they punted, it was a net 20-yard punt, so I'm not sure how much that would really do for you in this position. Looks like they're going to go for it.
Ian Smart's thinking just like you, Craig, and he's going to come out and leave the offense on the field. Or excuse me, Coeur d'Alene thinking just like you. I'm sure they're all thinking like you. Stern into the end zone, just lobs it up, and in and out of the hands of the wide receiver for the Vikings. It was down there. Great coverage on the play.
And the coverage was again by Hudson Lewis, number 1. He's all over the field tonight.
Trying to see who that was for the Vikings down there. Might have been Jackson Hackett, the intended target. Regardless, I like the fact they kind of took a shot.
Yeah, at this point in the game, with just starting the second quarter, I think that's a good idea to try and take a shot at the end zone and see if you can get a catch down there, maybe get a pass interference, get a first down, and keep your drive going.
There's no next week without a win this week, so you got to roll out all the stops and do what you can. First play of the drive, Fletch Scudder, the carry right side, shoved out of bounds on the Timberline sideline. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
And they did a great job kicking out the end there and creating a big hole off a right tackle. And he was able to, Fletch Scudder was able to hit that and then come to the outside and hit the sideline for a nice first down gain.
So a short 2nd down opportunity upcoming. From the 41-yard line in their own territory, ball right hash. One back to each side of Lewis in the shotgun. There's a receiver at each side and a tight end on the left side of the line. Sweep to Scudder. He's tackled immediately and dropped by Rylan Peterson, the senior defensive lineman.
That was a great job shooting that down and making sure he didn't get outside and then making the tackle.
It ends up a 2-yard loss as well. So Coeur d'Alene trying to show we can live in the backfield as well.
Yeah, they've got a good defense. They've shown that they can play some good defensive stops. They just have to make it a little more consistent on all 3 downs.
So a 2nd and 2 turns into a 3rd down and 4. 10 minutes, 18 seconds. First half of play. Again, Timberline a 10-0 lead on the visiting Coeur d'Alene Vikings. False start motion from multiple places on the Wolves offense.
New quarterback, new snap count. I'm surprised that's the first time it's happened. But he looked like he was trying to do a hard count, see if the defense would move, but his own guys moved instead.
They said, boy, he doesn't sound the same.
Who is that guy back there?
Who's this guy? And
isn't he usually standing over here next to me?
As a coach, you see the 2nd and 2, and you say, wow, this is a great opportunity. Now suddenly they've lost 7 yards. It's 3rd down and 9. A little bit more of a difficult situation. Lewis rolling right, passing along the sideline, tipped up, deflected, and falls harmlessly to the ground. Daniel Shoup on the deflection for Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah, there were 3 Coeur d'Alene defenders in front of the receiver, so Lewis trying to get the ball just over them, and they backed up just enough. They got their hands on it and knocked that pass down. So great job by Coeur d'Alene defense.
And that will force Timberline to come out in the punt formation on a 4th and 9 from their own 34-yard line. And they put the boot into it from the right foot of Jacob Everett. And a fair catch called for at the 32-yard line by Coeur d'Alene's Daniel Shoup. Well, here we go again. Coeur d'Alene, another opportunity.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do. They've had a couple of decent plays. They just got to string those together, be consistent. Once again, I think coaches are making some adjustments, trying to figure out what they can do and what they can't do against this tough Timberline defense.
And if you're the Vikings, you got to look at the scoreboard and say, this could be a lot worse than 10-0.
Yeah, it could easily be a 21-28 game. The couple of drives that stalled from Timberline, and of course the one that they were stopped at the 1-foot line. So it could be much worse.
And that's the good news, because if they get into any kind of a rhythm here, they'll have a shot, but that won't help. A handoff and immediately drop. In on the tackle, 2 men, Evan Anders and Hudson Snook.
Once again, they are just playing in the backfield every play.
They lose 2 that time. Yeah, the offensive line has not been able to contain that defensive front at all for Timberline.
They are struggling, and it comes down to what can you call as a coach that can help them find some success.
Might see a lot of quick passes, quick handoffs. It's a fake sweep, quarterback keeper for Stern. They've gained 2 or 3 yards, and really, again, I think everything has to be quick at this point.
Yeah, quick. You've got some speed on the outside. You've got some speed in the running back room. Get those guys the ball quickly and get them going downhill.
So he gains a little bit. 3rd down and 7 from the 37.
The other thing I'm waiting for a little bit with how aggressive that defensive line and linebackers are, screen, draw, something like that to try and work against that aggressiveness.
And they might back off a little bit if it starts working. Deep ball down the field. Lewis there on the coverage, and he'll swat it down, incomplete, as the Vikings try another deep shot. The intended receiver, Riley Frazier.
It's another deep shot. Once again, Hudson Lewis all over the place. Knocked the ball down, caused 4th down. Coeur d'Alene back to punt again.
He's the star right now. Him and Andrew Price have been major standouts on both sides of the football.
Yeah, definitely get your money's worth watching those guys if you pay to get into this game.
We like coming in for free with a media credential. Punting for Coeur d'Alene and stepping out of bounds.
One of the best parts of the job.
Yeah, you got to just walk right in. They say, "Oh, glad to have you here."
Yeah.
They don't question you. Don't look at your bags.
It's nice for somebody to say, "Welcome, we're glad you're here." That doesn't happen every day to me.
That's why you work for Idaho Sports on the side, right?
Exactly, yes.
These are the moments that you live for.
Yes. Highlight of my week.
Friday nights. Well, Craig, first time all season you've worked with anybody other than Clay. He's out tonight. Got some family stuff going on, so we'll be glad to have Clay back next week somewhere. I would imagine we'll probably have a couple of locations here in the Treasure Valley.
Yeah, I've appreciated Clay this year. He's really trained me and hopefully makes it so I don't make too many mistakes.
Rookie broadcaster working a semifinal. Good to have Craig here with us tonight and throughout the season as Hudson Lewis rolls to his right and runs for a couple of yards. 2nd and 8. 8 minutes, 10 seconds, second quarter.
Yeah, Hudson had looked like he got tripped up by the turf monster there a little bit. He had a pretty wide hole to run through.
Some substitutions for Timberline as they once again have the football on the offensive side. And this is the first time that they've really had a lot of field in front of them to work with. It's been short drives because everything has started inside the 25. Not the case this time.
It'll be interesting to see if they can put together a little longer drive.
From their own 27, a handoff to the tight end, Nash O'Kelly, and he fumbles the football. And now Coeur d'Alene is going to be the benefactor of a turnover forced. Jacob Everett, the recovery.
Yeah, that didn't look good from the time it was handed off till the time the ball actually came out. It looked like a little handoff, just did not look clean. So Coeur d'Alene's got a great chance here, taking the ball inside the 30 to put something together, get some points on the board. Still just a 10-0 game, so no reason to panic at this point.
The Vikings needed something good to happen in this first half, and there it was.
Yeah.
So 1st down and 10 for the Coeur d'Alene Vikings. From the Timberline 25-yard line. First snap to Stern, and guess who's there? It's Andrew Price again, immediately meeting him at the line of scrimmage.
Andrew Price did a great job. Two things he did there really well. He got off his block first of all, then he didn't chase. So as soon as the quarterback decided to cut back on that he was right there and made the tackle.
Stern has not been able to fool this Timberline defense on those reads.
No, it comes back to they're playing their assignments, trusting in each other, and that makes a big difference.
2nd and 10. This time he'll give to the back, and a penalty flag flies. 1 or 2 yard gain, but I think it's going to be coming back once again as Jacob Everett the carry. Ty Pollen, the blue on both sides, trying to catch up here on the Coeur d'Alene and Timberline rosters.
We'll have it by second half.
It is a hold on the Vikings. So you get a turnover, and then you immediately come out and you get a penalty.
Yeah, once again, you have a big break like that. You got to create your own breaks, but instead you're hurting yourself, you're hurting your team by doing those things. And where it was only a 2 yard gain, that hold did not help at all.
It's a big penalty, too. Drops them all the way back to the 35 on a 2nd down and 20. They got to get to the 15 for a first down. Should have been a hold. No call down there on the field. That one was pretty obvious as they'll gain a lot of the yardage back past the original line of scrimmage. As they say, there's holding on every play.
Yeah, that one was right around Andrew Price's neck, it looked like. And I was surprised they didn't call it, but they ran a screen and could gain about 11 yards. So.
And to be fair, they've got to figure out a way to contain it. And if that's what it's going to take, they will take it. Because so far it has been rough sledding, trying to slow him down in any way. That right side of the offensive line has their hands full with a big man, 6'6", on the defensive line. That's not exactly what you want standing right in front of your face as a quarterback.
Yeah, hard to see around or above that when you're trying to throw a pass.
Crowd making noise below us. 3rd down and 9. And the pocket just collapses again. Stern escapes it this time, though. Trying to play Houdini. Gets a little bit on the ground. He'll be short of the first down as Price takes him down. And now a decision again. 4th down and 4.
Yeah, not only is Price tall, but he's got some quickness to him to track down that quarterback from behind.
It'll actually be even a yard further back. 4th and 5. And Coeur d'Alene trailing 10-0 with 5:12 in the first half. We'll go for it. Stern sends Lindquist in motion. We have not heard from him tonight. Almost got Timberline to jump off sides, but they jump right back. Under 10 seconds on the play clock. Now they're under 5 as the clock just continues to roll on that play clock. Stern to pass, has a man right in front of him, and the ball deflected and incomplete. Carl Franson on the coverage.
Yeah, you had a little more time that time to try and pick up a receiver. Went to a second look and threw it in. And Carl Franson was able to knock that ball away to protect them from a first and possibly a touchdown.
At Super One Foods, compromise is not an option. They set the standard. First, they've got lower prices, and second, they make your dollar stretch further. Always important in today's grocery store age of how expensive everything is. Visit any Super One Foods in Rathdrum, Hayden, Coeur d'Alene, Post Falls, Sandpoint, or Bonners Ferry, and you'll see they set the standard. Go Vikings. Just came from Texas, and down in Texas, everything is HEB.
HEB.
North Idaho, everything is Super One Foods.
Yes.
A sweet play for the Wolves to Fletch Scudder as he'll go out of bounds after a gain of 6, 2nd and 4.
You mentioned Tim's Special Cut Meats today. I was up at Coeur d'Alene this morning. I wish I would have stopped and grabbed some jerky from them for us for tonight to eat in the booth. That would have been nice to have.
Next time, in lieu of the advertisement, send food.
Send jerky. Send some smoked sausage. We'd be happy to do a live taste test on the air.
We'll work for food.
I've worked for less.
2nd and 5. We get paid for this? Lewis drops the football, and Coeur d'Alene, for the second drive in a row, will land on it. This time it's Sam Hayner, or excuse me, that's the wrong side, Mateo Ray.
Another great opportunity for Coeur d'Alene. This game, with as many turnovers, as many sacks we have, it's surprising it's still 10-0 Timberline here with about 4.5 minutes left to go in the first half.
Well, there's been no shortage of action in this one, to say the least. So Ray with the fumble recovery. On the Timberline side, they've got an interception for Hudson Lewis, Jacob Everett with the fumble recovery, and Andrew Price with a fumble recovery.
And now 2 fumble recoveries in a row for Coeur d'Alene down in deep in Timberline territory.
Four minutes, 29 seconds, and counting. Run play for the Vikings for Palmgren. And he appears to get maybe 2 to the 18.
I think this offensive line going 5 on 4 or 5 or 6 defensive players for Timberline, they are not able to block that. I think you got to bring in tight end, fullback, something if you're going to try and move the ball against these guys.
Big, physical, and fast defensive front for Timberline. Play action pass, they'll get rid of it quickly. Evan Paschke on the reception, and there are 5 or 6 black jerseys every time they're making a tackle.
Yeah, but what you were saying earlier, Sven, that was a really quick pass. Get the ball out to him quickly as he moved in motion and gained a good 5 yards on that. Once again, just getting the ball to their playmakers quick.
3rd down and short from the 13 as the Vikings try to get on the board for the first time tonight. Quick pass drop in and out of the hands of Daniel Shoup.
That was good play design. He had a couple blockers out in front of him that they could have easily picked up the first down, if not more.
Brings up 4th down, and it's a big 4th down in this first half. 3 minutes and 23 seconds remaining before the half, and a 4th down and a long 3 yards upcoming for the Vikings of Coeur d'Alene. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to the 2025 Idaho State Football Playoffs, the 6A classification here on IdahoSports.com.
We're Valley-wide cooperative. For 100 years, we've been your first choice for residential and commercial propane, fuels, oils, and lubricants. We service HVAC, install water heaters, propane tanks, and accessories. And yes, we'll even deliver right where you need it. Because for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Back out of the timeout, a 4th down and a long 3 coming up for the Coeur d'Alene Vikings. They are still huddled up on the far sideline. Timberline's defense out there, they're ready to go. 3:23 in the first half, 10-0 Wolves. Coeur d'Alene trying to strike for the first time tonight on the road in Boise. Stern keeping it all the way. Never a doubt that it was the quarterback running it inside the 5-yard line of the 4, first and goal.
Great call by Coeur d'Alene there just to do a quick quarterback draw right up the middle. Easy to get the first down on that.
First and goal play complete to Jockheck. And he is met by Carl Franson.
That quick wide receiver screen there. Ball didn't get out super quick. It was a quick pass, but the ball had a little too much arch on it to really get him going upfield.
They'll gain 1 yard to the 3. Second and goal. As always, phenomenal PA announcer Micah Craney is here. He'll be at College of Idaho tomorrow. He's everywhere. You go somewhere in the Treasure Valley and you'll run into Micah doing the PA. Second and goal. Stern to the right side on the quarterback keep, and he's tackled by the shoestrings by Scudder.
Yeah, Scudder just came off there, kept with him, didn't let him get outside. As he tried to make a move, got him around the ankles, tackle him for a loss.
Loss of a yard, third and goal. As you'd imagine, gotta guess it's gonna be 4-down territory again for Coeur d'Alene if they don't get it here. It is a tight formation, no wide receivers out, and there's nowhere to go at all for Stern. He received it, was pushed to the ground, sat down. Excuse me, the ball was fumbled. And Timberline recovers, so even worse for the Vikings.
You know, sometimes you can't get out of your own way. You fumble the ball when you're down that close. I almost wonder if it would have been smart to go for a field goal there just to get on the board. Get it down to a 1-score game before half.
Well, you got to feel for Coeur d'Alene. There's tons of miscues in this first half of play. The turnover bug is firmly biting them, and with 1:53 remaining before halftime, they might not get the football back again.
Yeah, with some of the difficulties they've had, you'd think they were the ones that were using a wide receiver as quarterback, like Timberline is.
So first down and 10 from the 5-yard line in their own territory for Timberline, and they probably are going to be content to run some clock here at this point.
Yeah, it'd be smart to run the clock. If you break something, go ahead and go for it. If not, make sure you keep the ball the rest of the first half and go into halftime with the lead, with a 2-score lead.
Well, Craig, you were talking about some beef jerky up here on the broadcast earlier. I got a message that said, can I get a shout out? It was one of my coworkers from down in Texas, Gabby Cortez, and she's like, you're talking about all the special cut meats. I'm loving this.
Well, Texas, home of the brisket. I wish we could buy them here as cheap as you can down there.
She's feeling right at home listening to this Idaho Sports broadcast. 2nd and 6. And met immediately on the run. Great tackle by Coeur d'Alene coming up from, let's see, is that a linebacker? Liam Tucker, defensive back, a freshman.
Wow.
Excuse me, Ian Dolan. Ian Dolan. That's a senior. So the exact opposite of what I said the first time.
It's a senior that will be a freshman next year, right? You're just progressing him up to next season.
Next week, I'm going to put a big fat logo right on the middle of the roster sheet when they're wearing the same colors again, inevitably. Minute and 2 seconds in the first half of play. It's 10-0 Timberline, and a third down coming up. Timeout on the field.
Coeur d'Alene's got a chance to get a stop here, maybe get a punt and try and get some points on the board at the end of this first half.
Yeah, that's how you got to look at it if you're Coeur d'Alene at this point. If you can go into the locker room with any kind of positive momentum, that would be ideal.
And as we've said multiple times, with how many mistakes they've made and turnovers they've had, they're in great shape only being down 10-0 at this point.
So 3rd down and 5. Rolling out and passing incomplete off the hands of O'Kelly. Nash O'Kelly is an Idaho commit.
So that brings up 4th down and the punt team out for Timberline. Said Coeur d'Alene has a chance to get decent field position with just under a minute left and try and get some points on the board.
Entering the night, normally O'Kelly pretty sure-handed, 26 grabs, 310 yards, and 6 touchdowns. They have not been able to get the tight ends going as much as you would expect on the Timberline side in this first half. It'll probably be a focus area in half number 2 as a short punt again. This time takes a little bit of a better bounce if you're Timberline, and will be downed at the 41. So Coeur d'Alene, a short field. They've got 46 seconds to play with here, and they are already in Timberline territory.
If I remember right, they have 2 timeouts left as well. And with a pass-heavy offense, you've got a chance to go down and get some points and go into halftime with some great momentum after everything else that's happened this half that hasn't been too positive.
We mentioned they're starting the drive at the Timberline 41. 1st down and 10, 46 seconds. They trail 10-0. Done a lot of quarterback keepers with Stern on the ground. They're going to need him to go to the air here, and the pass is short off the hands of his target, incomplete. They're on the far sideline. Intended receiver for Coeur d'Alene, Riley Frazier.
That's the first time he's really had much time in the backfield and hasn't had a lot of pressure. That's a pretty long throwing from the hash to the opposite sideline.
He's got the arm strength. That one just came up about a foot short from being right in his chest.
Had an open receiver there, so hopefully he can hit him this next time.
Twin receivers each side. Back to the right of Ty Pollen. There is Ty Pollen. Completion, Maddox Lindquist, we were mentioning, haven't called his name. He had a huge game last week, and he gets the 1st down on the grab for the Vikings.
Yeah, he was able to break a couple tackles and get another 7-8 yards on that to bring him down around the 20.
32 seconds remaining in the first half. As the clock stops, then a timeout for Coeur d'Alene. Well, Craig, this gives us an opportunity. Let's pull up the Rigby-Rocky game, check out what's going on there, and give you a score update as Lance Taylor on the call here on IdahoSports.com. It's Rigby 13, Rocky Mountain 7. In the other 6A semifinal, that game in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, 2 teams that have been in multiple state title games in the last few years, kind of the class of the 6A. Great game over on the eastern side of the state. This time of year, lucky they don't have snow or anything else on that side.
They are very familiar with each other, those 2 teams.
Yes.
And you better bet Rocky Mountain is looking for some revenge here this season.
Yeah, I talked to my nephew that coaches for Rigby this week, and they were sure excited to be hosting that game over on that side of the state.
So here come the Vikings, 32 seconds left in the first half of play. Ball spotted at the 23. Stern has time. Dump off pass complete to Pollen. And Pollen being shoved forward by the whole Coeur d'Alene team, basically, led by the offensive front. And they'll move the sticks. And Sean Amos says, I want a timeout. Well, maybe not. Maybe they want to get right to the line and spike it here. That's what he's saying. So they're going to go right to the line, 19 seconds. They'll spike it. Interesting looking spike there. He had to Patrick Mahomes sidearm the spike, and it took 3 or 4 seconds because he kind of dropped back a little bit and then just grounded it.
I think they're so used to a shotgun snap, he did not get the ball clean and bobbled it a little bit before he could actually grab it to throw it down and spike it.
And they'll drop the chains, so it's 1st and goal. Got to get into the end zone here for Coeur d'Alene. 16 seconds before the half. Vikings have yet to score in this one. They've had some chances. Paulin to the right of Stern. Stern all day to throw, finds Paulin out of the backfield, near side, gets past Lewis, and barrels into the end zone. Touchdown, Coeur d'Alene.
That was another good call. Get the back out of the backfield, quick pass. They're starting to hit a couple of those quicker passes to the backs and receivers and having some success.
So a beautiful connection there for the Vikings to get on the board for the first time here tonight, and just in the nick of time as there's 10 seconds on the clock in the first half. So a first half that has been completely dominated essentially by Timberline is going to be a one-score game. And the PAT is through the uprights. And good from Frankie Lopez, the junior kicker. How about that?
What a half for everything that's kind of gone wrong on both sides. It could be such a different game on the scoreboard. Hurting yourself, fumbles, penalties, different things. It's a game, one-score game with 10 seconds left in the first half. Much more of a defensive battle than we thought it would be. Still two evenly matched teams, just trying to move the ball.
I didn't go to math college, but I can't tell you we're looking at 5 or 6 turnovers between these two teams in the first half.
Yeah, it's hard to move the ball when you turn it over that many times. And there have been so many turnovers inside the 30. And you'd think you'd have more points on the board because of that, but haven't been able to push it in.
This is your prototypical Coeur d'Alene Viking playoff football game. The difference being the weather is perfect tonight. A lot of years, this is what a Coeur d'Alene playoff game looks like when it's wet, sloppy, snowy, got mud on the jerseys. That's not the case here tonight.
Well, being up in that area the last few days, that's all it's done is rain and mist and fog, and they're probably loving the weather down here right now.
We flew Craig all the way in from Coeur d'Alene for us here tonight.
Special
just
delivery.
Kidding, we didn't even have to fly him. He just came back home. Bouncer taken by Lewis. He's dangerous with a football in his hands. And fortunately for Coeur d'Alene, they stop him at the 29 with 5 seconds remaining in the opening half. An entertaining opening half here tonight.
It's been fun to watch. I think at this point you take a knee and go into halftime and do some regrouping, adjusting, and get your kids ready to play the second half because it's going to be tight.
So they're on their own 28. They're going to come out and probably take a knee here. Well, you like the victory formation. If you're Timberline, you're hoping to do this twice tonight.
Yes. Or even 3 times. You have to do it twice at the end of the game.
Unlimited victory formations.
Yes.
As there it is, knee taken by Lewis. And we are at the break in Boise. Your score, Timberline 10, Coeur d'Alene 7. Back for the halftime show right after this on IdahoSports.com.
So, what's next? Your path doesn't have to look like theirs. You can do this, or this, or this. Check out in-demand jobs in Idaho and get up to $8,000 to find your thing.
Dear crew, with an adult-sized third row, everyone's welcome. Slip in, stretch out, and let's go. Toyota, let's go places.
It's that time again. Time to get the health insurance you need for next year. Open enrollment is the time for you to enroll in, renew, or change your coverage. At Your Health Idaho, you can save money with a tax credit on the plan that's best for you and your family. Don't wait. Open enrollment ends December 15th. More coverage, less cost. Only at yourhealthidaho.org. Enroll by December 15th.
Il me semble que ce matin le soleil colorer le ciel. Voudrais prolonger les vacances.
Idaho's 529 can be used at any in-state or out-of-state 2- or 4-year college or university. Can be used at a trade school for an apprenticeship.
Whatever it is that your kid is interested in, that's available for them to use the fund.
I really like the flexibility. It gives Wild the opportunity to pursue a whole array of training.
So whatever your child's passion is, you can support that.
To learn more, go to idsaves.org.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Dear Friday, we've got power tailgates to power game days and a trailer backup guide. That's the champ of the ramp. Toyota trucks. Toyota. Let's go places.
Every time that we get in the car, number 1, buckle up. Number 2, no phones. And number 3, pay attention to your surroundings.
If I got in the car with my friends, I would definitely tell them to put their seatbelts on. I want to be able to get back home safely.
Halftime at Donald Larson Park in Boise. The score at the break, Timberline 10 and Coeur d'Alene 7. And this was a game that definitely had no shortage of action through the first 30 minutes of play.
Yeah, it's been a lot of action, not the action I thought it would be. But there's been a lot of action, a lot of fumbles, a lot of sacks. Great defensive play on both sides of the ball. There have been several drives go down inside the red zone that there's been stops, and even had a stop on the 1-foot line from Coeur d'Alene. So it's been a lot of action, a lot of back and forth.
Turnover bug really on both sides, and that first defensive drive for Timberline, they came out and they got 2 sacks, and one of them was a sack fumble recovered by Andrew Price. That kind of set the tone, even though they weren't able to get in, because Coeur d'Alene forced a turnover on downs for the Wolves, but then Coeur d'Alene came out, turned it over again. It just was the turnover bug really on both sides.
Yeah, a lot of turnovers, hard to get your offense consistently going. And with the way both defenses are playing, if you don't have that consistency with your offensive line, it is hard to put together a drive even from the 30-yard line.
So here's some of the turnovers from the first half. Hudson Lewis with an interception, Jacob Everett with a fumble recovery, and Andrew Price with a fumble recovery. On the other side, Mateo Ray had a fumble recovery, and there was one other fumble recovery for the Vikings. The scoring summary from the first half of play: Timberline got on the board first at the 2:14 mark of the opening quarter when Hagan Clint drilled a 24-yard field goal, made it 3-0. Timberline then scored again just over a minute later with 1:05 in the first quarter. The quarterback for tonight, not the normal quarterback, Hudson Lewis, found Hayden Hills in the end zone for a 19-yard touchdown. And just like that, it was 10-0 Wolves at the end of the first quarter. Nobody scored again until 10 seconds remained before the half, and it was a 10-yard touchdown pass, Tanner Stern to Ty Pollen. That's how we got to this score of Timberline 10 and Coeur d'Alene 7.
Yeah, so once again, that first quarter, it could have easily been 21-28 nothing Timberline, but they just could not push the ball in. Got down close a couple times. Like I said, just got stopped on the 1-foot line. Just struggled to get it punched in the end zone. So we'll see if they can make some adjustments, both teams, on offense second half.
And that's the dangerous part about a game like this. You're playing a really talented opponent in the Coeur d'Alene Vikings, and anytime you're playing a team with a lot of talent and you give them this many opportunities to stay in the game when they're really not playing very well, you end up in this situation. And Coeur d'Alene started to figure it out there at the end of the first half, and now we've got ourselves a ball game. It's anybody's contest.
Yeah, it is anybody's at this point. It's one of those things as a team and as a coach, when you have some great advantages and you're really doing well and getting turnovers and getting good field position, you want to be able to kick them in the teeth and keep them down. But Timberline hasn't been able to do that. Now Coeur d'Alene's got some confidence going into the second half. It'll see who comes out and actually makes the right adjustments and gets the right confidence to score some and to get points on the board.
And I think Coeur d'Alene went to a little bit more of a quick hit offense. Get rid of the football quickly.
Yeah, that was a great adjustment that Coeur d'Alene made there towards the end of the first half. They got the ball to their playmakers quick, let them make some moves. Just the first part of the game, they couldn't get any time. They were trying to drop back pass, getting sacked, getting the ball knocked around. So good adjustment by Coeur d'Alene coaching staff to get that score at the end of the first half.
Well, founded in 1949, Pioneer Title Company is an employee-based company centered around a going beyond culture which fosters the principles of family, respect, and openness. Pioneer offers title and escrow products, long-term escrows, contract purchasing, foreclosure services, and 1031 tax-deferred exchanges. They provide services in Idaho, Oregon, Nevada, Washington, and Wyoming. Call 208-364-8254 to set up an appointment. Pioneer Title, proud supporter of Coeur d'Alene Athletics, says good luck to the Vikings in tonight's game. And at Super One Foods, compromise is not an option. They set the standard. First, they've got lower prices, and second, they make your dollar stretch further. Visit any Super One Foods in Rathdrum, Hayden, Coeur d'Alene, Post Falls, Sandpoint, or Bonners Ferry, and you'll see they set the standard. Go Vikings. And of course, Tim's Special Cut Meats, your local old-fashioned butcher shop. Besides top-notch butchering and game processing services, they also sell premium meats, specialty groceries, and delicious deli goods, plus beef, pork, lamb, and buffalo, as well as smoked sausages and jerky. They're better than the large retail outlets because Tim's is homegrown. Stop by today for custom cut meats, seasonings, grills, smokers, and more at their new location, 525 North Graffiti Street in Post Falls. You can also find out more online at timsspecialcutmeats.com. So again, your score at the half, Timberline 10, Coeur d'Alene 7. We'll be back for the second half after this. You're listening to the Idaho State Football Playoffs on IdahoSports.com.
So, what's next? Your path doesn't have to look like theirs. You can do this, or this, or this. Check out in-demand jobs in Idaho and get up to $8,000 to find your thing.
Dear crew, with an adult-sized third row, everyone's welcome. Slip in, stretch out, and let's go. Toyota, let's go places.
It's that time again. Time to get the health insurance you need for next year. Open enrollment is the time for you to enroll in, renew, or change your coverage. At Your Health Idaho, you can save money with a tax credit on the plan that's best for you and your family. Don't wait. Open enrollment ends December 15th. More coverage, less cost. Only at yourhealthidaho.org. Enroll by December 15th.
Il me semble que ce matin le soleil peine à colorer le ciel. Voudrais prolonger les vacances.
Idaho's 529 can be used at any in-state or out-of-state 2- or 4-year college or university, can be used at a trade school for an apprenticeship.
Whatever it is that your kid is interested in, that's available for them to use the fund.
I really like the flexibility. It gives Wild the opportunity to pursue a whole array of training.
So whatever your child's passion is, you can support that.
To learn more, go to idsaves.org.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Dear Friday, we've got power tailgates to power game days and a trailer backup guide. That's the champ of the ramp. Toyota trucks. Toyota. Let's go places.
Every time that we get in the car, number 1, buckle up. Number 2, no phones. And number 3, pay attention to your surroundings.
If I got in the car with my friends, I would definitely tell them to put their seatbelts on. I want to be able to get back home safely.
Let's take a look at some of the action going on around the state here tonight in the 6A classification, the other semifinal, Rigby 20 and Rocky Mountain 7, as I believe that game approaching halftime or right at halftime now. At the break in the 5As, Bishop Kelly 14, Skyline 7. Hillcrest leads at the break 23-20. An upset in the 4A ranks. Homedale has defeated Sugar Salem over in the ICCU Dome in Pocatello by a final of 30-20. In the second quarter, Fruitland and Kimberly are knotted up at 14 apiece. Soon to kick off, also in Pocatello, Westside will play Nampa Christian in the 3A ranks. Of course, they're in the 3As. They're fighting for the right to play the Ryrie Bulldogs, who defeated Aberdeen last night. Only really one blowout tonight across the state that I'm seeing so far. It's Kendrick 50 and Grace 0 in the 2As. That Kendrick football team is about as good as it gets in the 8-man ranks.
Yeah. They have been dominant all year.
And just kicked off as well, Kamei and Logos. They are squaring off on Kamei's home field. The 1A does not have any games tonight. Those are both taking place tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Mountain Time. It'll be the Tri-Valley Titans hosting the Wallace Miners, and then the Council Lumberjacks will welcome in the Cary Panthers. Both those games will be IdahoSports.com video productions on the NFHS network, so make sure to tune in and check those out. Well, take a look here at the second half of play. Is got a couple of minutes on the clock. What do you expect to see, adjustment-wise as we move into this third quarter of play?
So Timberline will get the ball to start off the second half, so we'll see how they come out. They've been able to be fairly successful with some quarterback runs. Of course, Hudson Lewis playing quarterback tonight after their normal quarterback has been on the sidelines, and see if they can get him going, get him to break something loose. He actually, for a wide receiver, can throw the ball pretty well. So we'll see if he can make some adjustments there. With Coeur d'Alene, I think they hit their adjustments at the end of the first half with quick passes to the receivers, quick passes to your running back, get the ball out quickly, and use some of Timberline's aggression against them on defense. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see who makes the right adjustments. Being a one-score game, it's can't ask for much better than that on a Friday night.
The UC Davis commit, Jack Brandt, is a big loss for them. And you take a look at what he's done on the season. We mentioned over 2,000 yards through the air, 26 touchdowns, but he's also done a lot with his legs. 89 carries, 540 yards, and 11 touchdowns. So just a brutal loss for Timberline, but they've come out here today and really, I don't want to say haven't missed a beat because that's not fully fair to what's happened here tonight, but they have been able to remain competitive without their starting quarterback in a semifinal game. That's awfully impressive.
Yeah, and I think for them it's because their defense kept them in the game. They've recovered had 3 turnovers. Really not allowed Coeur d'Alene to get into their offense. They don't allow them to drop back and pass, which is a big part of Coeur d'Alene's offense. And so they've just been relentless, been very aggressive on defense, and it's been tough for them to. It's been tough for Timberline to move the ball that way.
As the teams are taking the field now for half number 2, they'll put 12 on the clock, and we will get set for another half of football here on IdahoSports.com's coverage of the Idaho State playoffs, the 6A classification. Sven Elskog and Craig Miller from Donald Larson Park in Boise. Just one half separates one of these teams from a berth in the state championship. So plenty on the line in this one. As a short kick to the far side, taken at the 33-yard line, and an opportunity to return for 1 yard. Well, he kind of returned it, not a lot though. Benton Bates, the up man.
Yeah, Benton Bates took that. He evaded the first guy, and then number 10, Riley Frazier, for Coeur d'Alene, came in and gave him a pretty good smacking.
Well, Benton Bates is a big dude. You don't typically expect to see him with a football in his hands, but looked like a seasoned pro grabbing it. He just didn't have anywhere to run. So the officials will be a little bit more generous than I was and give him the 35. First and 10 from there. 2 receivers on the near side, 1 back in the backfield as well. Lewis will roll and find his tight end, O'Kelly, for a 2-yard gain coming right side. Tackle on the play by Ian Dolan and a couple other Vikings.
That was similar to the play they started the first of the game with, the first series of the game with, getting Hudson Lewis outside a little bit, just making a nice little throw to his tight end, gain a couple yards, being positive on the first down.
Already off to a better start than that first drive of the first half. And that one resulted in a couple of sacks and a short run, culminated with a fumble. Excuse me, that was the Coeur d'Alene side. That did happen, though.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, we're just giving them a recap of both sides, I guess, here. 44-yard line they go. You weren't even going to correct me, Craig. You were just letting me roll with it.
I just thought I'd let you go with it. You know, if they can't see it, then do they know what really happened? They just have to trust us.
Those that have been with us from the jump here, they're thinking, boy, what is this guy talking about?
Well, Sven's usually fixing everyone else's problems here at IdahoSports.com, so he's not used to being able to pay attention as much as he is tonight.
Well, tonight's been smooth all the way across the state. Great effort by all our broadcasters tonight. Glad we can bring you all 12 semifinal games over the whole weekend. 3rd down and 1. And the shotgun for Lewis. He'll keep and run left. He has a first down and some more over midfield, and he's finally shoved out there by Coeur d'Alene's Ben Murray.
That was a great job by Hudson to get out there, get outside, and be able to use his speed. They had it strung out pretty well, just had enough speed to get around the outside, get the first down.
They'll give him 9 on the carry to the 47. Or as Micah Cranny says, the 53-yard line.
Must be playing Canadian rules football here.
Well, they're making it up down there. So fresh set of downs. To his left goes Lewis, dumps it off O'Kelly, and he is dropped by Dolan. Short gain.
Short gain. I still like the play to get him outside. He's got a couple options there. Both the deeper options were pretty well covered, but pick up a yard, be a positive movement on that first down, and continue to drive.
2nd and 9, ball left hash, 46-yard line in Coeur d'Alene Viking territory. Just underway in the 3rd quarter, 10 minutes and 32 seconds as the clock runs. So the 1-yard gain on first down. They'll try to get some more on the second. Taking a while to get the snap. Finally, Lewis has it. And he'll dump it off for Fletch Scudder. Gains a few to the 42.
Nice little RPO action on that one to decide where the open man was for a good gain of about 5 yards. I'm not sure what it is, Sven, but every Friday night when we broadcast these games, somebody starts talking about bacon cheeseburgers or jerky, and then we get whiffs of things from right underneath us and are ready to stop for a burger on the way home.
Well, I can tell you exactly why that happens for you. It's because you're working with Clay Hatfield normally.
That's usually what it is, yes.
And Clay's a big food guy. You can find him at your local restaurant somewhere in the Treasure Valley. Lewis on a 3rd down and 5, and he is spun around and thrown out of bounds by the Vikings. George Mitchell was there. Also, Rylan Peterson.
Yeah, didn't have quite enough speed to get around the outside, running to the short side of the field there.
And they'll lose yardage back to the 46 and be forced to bring out the punt unit. And Coeur d'Alene's punt returner is going to stand at the 10-yard line. It is Daniel Shoup. So plenty of time to get the punt off for Everett. And it's going to bounce and be taken at the 7 or 8 yard line, and not a big return. And a tackle made by Evan Paschke.
Got to appreciate that return. A lot of guys in that situation are going to try and bump it outside, but it was pretty well covered, so he turned just upfield and got as much as he could on that.
Well, we have one obstruction in this press box, and I think this is the only spot of the field that it impacts me. I know it impacts you in some different areas. So as Coeur d'Alene comes out in a spot of the field we haven't seen a whole lot of tonight, their own 15-yard line. We'll lean to our right and find the opening.
Yeah, it's tough to see when you get in certain positions on the field.
Priest Palmgren the run to the left side, and not really anything there.
Yeah, they're struggling running against this defensive front from Timberline. Those D linemen for Timberline are aggressive, but they're able to get off those blocks and be able to stop the running backs they're trying to come through.
So no gain on first down. 2nd down and 10 from their own 15. It's an empty backfield. Stern will run right side. Quarterback keeper evades one. Guy just dove full extension right past him and then gets dropped after gaining a few.
Yeah, that one we had our guy Andrew Price, 75, came running through into the backfield, but I think he ran right by the quarterback on that read option play and able to gain a few yards.
You know, sometimes we'll put stats on there for player of the game. If we were to pick Price tonight, I think you just say defensive menace. I don't know if stats are necessary to explain the effort he's putting out there. He just blows through 2 guys and forces an interception. Picked off by Austin Engroff, and he will take it to the house. Touchdown Timberline.
That was a great job by the defensive line, right in his face quickly. I don't think the quarterback saw him standing there. It looked like he was throwing right to the receiver or to the defensive back there.
Well, you know why they didn't see him? It's because he had a 6'6" Andrew Price right in front of his face. Again.
Hard to see around that.
He is just causing all kinds of issues for Coeur d'Alene as Timberline will 2 or 3 hop that one to the holder. It's dropped and the try will be no good as a result. 16-7 is your score. 7:48 remaining in the 3rd quarter. We'll take a break. Be back after this on IdahoSports.com.
It's that time again. Time to get the health insurance you need for next year. Open enrollment is the time for you to enroll in, renew, or change your coverage. At Your Health Idaho, you can save money with a tax credit on the plan that's best for you and your family. Don't wait. Open enrollment ends December 15th. More coverage, less cost. Only at yourhealthidaho.org. Enroll by December 15th.
Dear Savvy, who says you can't have it all? You've got the tech, you've got the drive, and now you've got Toyota value. Toyota, let's go places.
We return after another Timberline turnover forced as they just continue to wreak havoc on the Coeur d'Alene Viking offense here tonight. A touchdown on a pick six for Austin Engroff.
Now, Sven, I think that part of that interception has to go to Andrew Price. He was in the backfield so fast that quarterback didn't have a chance to see anybody.
Bouncer from the 29 taken on the return. Palmgren. And Palmgren, it's a good starting field position to the 42 or 43. That's going to be great for Coeur d'Alene.
They've had great field position a lot this game, just have not been able to move the ball consistently. And when you have Andrew Price in the backfield every play, it's hard to move the ball at all. We'll see if they've got an answer for him this time.
That's a guy who should definitely be playing some football at the next level.
Yeah.
Especially after this performance.
Just send this game tape to any recruiter you're thinking about.
1st and 10 CDA. Motion for Dahlin. They'll run instead, and a bruising carry that will move the chains. One run and one first down as Ty Pollen got the carry there and a man down for the Wolves.
That was a good carry by Ty Pollen, not just there was a big hole open for the offensive line, but then he drove his legs and gained another 4 or 5 yards at least after he was hit.
If Coeur d'Alene can start getting the run game rolling a little bit, that'll help them. They're still just within 9 points. Not a big gap for the Vikings, especially if they can score on this drive.
Yeah, their traditional drop back pass offense is just not going to work tonight. They've got to do some more quick passing, quick runs, try and use that aggressive nature of Timberline's defense against them to move the ball.
Well, special thanks to Timberline Athletic Director Tal Gropp and everybody here at Timberline for their hospitality tonight, allowing us to bring this game to you from wherever you may be. As player's still down.
Yeah, at first looked like cramps. They were stretching out his leg. Spending a little more time with him now.
And now he'll get up. The injured player was Carl Franson. So again, one run, one first down, and the Vikings are over midfield Timberline territory at the 48-yard line. 7:32, third quarter. Ball on left hash. Two backs in the backfield, two up top, and the wide receiver, and one down at the bottom. Put a man in motion, they'll go right to him. It's Pollen out of the backfield, and it looks like he's the guy that they're planning to get heavily involved.
Yeah, a couple of nice plays to him. He's been able to grab the ball, get some good runs in.
He gains 7, 2nd and 3 up to the 41-yard line. As Coeur d'Alene trying to get the offense rolling a little bit in this third quarter against a tough Timberline defensive unit. And pass over the middle, almost intercepted again. Right there was Franson. Good to see him back in the football game. But, you know, Craig, something that we want to note here, Timberline's defense giving up just 15 points per game coming into this one. It's the same number really on the other side for Coeur d'Alene. So this score is not necessarily surprising just from how good these two defenses are.
And they're showing it on the field. That was another play. Saver looked open, but defense closed in on it fast enough to be able to knock the ball away.
3rd down and 3, 6:51 third quarter. Play action. Pass far side. Caught. Dolan. First down, Coeur d'Alene.
I thought they were going to get to him there again. There was a fake handoff to the running back and then quick pass out to the receiver. Be able to get that first down.
34-yard line is where the spot is. Not good for Timberline. Coming off kind of gingerly after that play was Andrew Price. Hopefully he's just catching his breath. It looks like that's the case. They can't afford to be without him.
He's been all over both sides of the ball tonight, and sometimes you need to just take a little break.
Short pitch and catch to Dolan generates nothing. 2nd and 10. I was going to say generates a yard. It did not.
See who came up on that tackle real quick?
I did not.
Hudson Lewis.
There you go.
All over the field as well.
You're quizzing me when you know the answers. It's almost like you work as an educator.
Don't let that secret out. Somebody might quit listening to us.
That's the last thing I need on the broadcast is a quiz. I might fail. Run play, right side, started left and then went right. Ty Pollen. And took a little bit to bring him down after a gain of 2.
Yeah, the D-line is still playing aggressive and being able to get off their blocks and make that stop for a 1-yard gain.
Over halfway into this 3rd quarter. 5:45 on the clock. Timberline leading Coeur d'Alene 16-7. But the Vikings driving. At the 33-yard line in Wolves territory. Whistles blow right after the snap. And some of the Timberline defenders are saying, what was that? They were in the backfield.
Yeah, they were ready to go.
Including Hudson Lewis. It's going to be a false start. I think they would have liked the sack they were about to get.
Yeah, I missed who that one was on. I couldn't see anybody move, but somebody saw it and threw the flag. I didn't even see where the flag landed.
They got the walkie-talkie up here. Somebody said, it's a false start. I appreciate that. That's service.
That is.
Down there by somebody on the field. They're helping out everybody in the booth.
Once again, Coeur d'Alene making a good drive, and then a few bad plays and a penalty. He's got them behind the sticks again on 3rd down.
Stern trying to run, and that's not going to happen. Andrew Price just picked him up and threw him down, and then he had a teammate help him out. But again, it's the Andrew Price show.
Yeah.
Huge loss. Back to the 40, 4th down.
It's tough, you know. Usually 6'6" guys don't play defensive tackle like he is, and they're not as fast as he is. And he's just be able to get into the backfield almost every play, just cause havoc.
4th and 16. Coeur d'Alene has to punt. Price was there. He will escort the punter to the ground, and a penalty flag flies. I'm gonna guess it should just be running into the punter because he definitely didn't rough him.
No.
He actually tried to stop himself and then just picked him up and dropped him politely on the ground. The punter is trying to sell it here.
He stayed on the ground a little while trying to milk that one a little bit.
And
looks like it's still 4th down.
Well, now this is interesting. So the punter limped off to the sideline. That's Everett Overcash. Excuse me. It's Frankie Lopez. And now Coeur d'Alene might not have a punter if they try to punt it again.
Yeah,
the ball's at the 35.
It appeared he jumped right up, and after the laying on the ground for a little bit, he jumped off and jogged off.
We'll see. Well, this is going to be interesting here if they have to burn a timeout or otherwise. 4 minutes and 20 seconds. The officials kind of conferring. As again, they just said running into the punter. They did not call it a roughing. So it should just be 5-yard penalty. And that makes it 4th and 11. And here comes the punter back out.
Ball spotted at the 35.
Well, there he is. That's good.
Looks like he wasn't hurt too bad. Maybe hurt his ego a little bit. Officials are still conferring to find out, make sure they got the call right.
And they're chatting about it down there still. Again, it definitely was not the roughing variety. The replay on that will be kind of interesting to see. How the official going to come all the way over and talk to Coach Smart on the Timberline side? And now both teams will go back, and
okay,
they're declining. They're declining the running into the punter penalty.
And taking the return, I guess.
I'm not.
Well, they did pin him, I believe, right about the 10-yard line was where the return ended up. So maybe that's not all bad.
Yeah,
Instead
you
of
know,
kicking it into the end zone.
If you're Coeur d'Alene, you're right, especially after the punter did get contacted on that previous play. Maybe they think this is their best odd. It was kind of a no man's land on what to do there, just with where it was on the field. Sean Amos has been around long enough. He'll choose to do this. First down and 10 from their own 10 for Timberline. 4:20 in the third quarter. 16-7 Wolves lead the Vikings. Lewis, clean pocket, looks deep, got a man over the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. Overthrew him by a yard. Lucas Thompson.
Yeah, that's a great time to go for a shot there. He was behind the defensive back, had a few steps on him. Passed just a little bit deep, and good idea on the Timberline side. Try and get a quick score.
Daniel Shoup in coverage for Coeur d'Alene. I like the idea there. First play of the drive, try and catch him with a deep ball. And they almost got that one 90 yards. He would have walked into the end zone.
I'm making Sven nervous because I'm behind him watching the game. We've got some columns in our way. It's hard to see on this side of the ball.
You're in your blind spot now. You're making the smart decision to stand up so you can see it. Nothing there. Tackle in the backfield. Anthony Gilly.
Lewis trying to use his use his ability there, but Jack got stopped in the backfield, about 5 yards deep.
3rd and 15, and this is not a spot you want to be if you're Timberline without your starting quarterback way backed up in your own side. Lewis came into the game today, had just tried one pass, and it was 17 yards and a touchdown. He's had to do a little bit more through the air here in this one today.
Hey, he's ruined his perfect passing record there tonight.
All he cares about tonight is a victory at the end of the evening. They just get the snap off, and immediately after a 1-yard gain, Coeur d'Alene's Mateo Ray, who got a fumble recovery earlier, brings him down, and that will be 4th down. Timberline to punt.
Another good defensive stand from Coeur d'Alene with about 3 minutes left in this third quarter.
Maddox Lindquist and Daniel Shoup, the return men for Coeur d'Alene, standing at their, well, now they're standing at the Timberline 47. Low snap. Good job by the punter to get it and fire it off. Bounces at the 36. Opportunity to return it from the 41 for Shoup. And a good return.
Yeah,
10 yards.
Great opportunity for Coeur d'Alene here to get some more points on the board, turn it into a one-score game.
At Super One Foods, compromise is not an option. They set the standard first. They have lower prices. And second, they make your dollar stretch further. Visit any Super One Foods in Rathdrum, Hayden, Coeur d'Alene, Post Falls, Sandpoint, or Bonners Ferry, and you'll see they set the standard. Go Vikings. 2 minutes and 31 seconds in the third quarter, 16-7. Timberline over Coeur d'Alene. It is Coeur d'Alene football from the Wolves' 30-yard line. Setting up a screen pass complete to Palmgren, and he'll gain 1, 2nd and 9.
That's a good job by Palmgren to catch that ball, because once again, we had Andrew Price in the backfield. Got his finger on the ball as it soared over his head, and Good job picking that ball up.
Score update, Rigby 20, Rocky Mountain 7 as they get set to begin the third quarter while we're almost at the end of the third quarter. So we're probably going to know this semifinal before the other one. Palmgren goes left in motion, dance move to evade the sack for Stern. He had to dance around Benton Bates and gained a couple.
That was a good job on Tanner Stern to actually get a few yards on that. He was stopped a couple yards deep and was able to move around, get outside, and pick up a few yards, make the third down a little more manageable.
His legs have been really big saving grace for Coeur d'Alene's offense tonight. 3rd and 7 from the 27. 1:18 third quarter. They look to the sideline. Offensive coordinator is Ron Nelson. For Coeur d'Alene. Approaching 1 minute when this one gets snapped. Play action pass over the middle and intercepted. Owen Froelich on the pick for the Wolves. Out of bounds at about the 25-yard line.
It looked like they were expecting a man defense there, and Timberline was back in the zone, and he read the quarterback's eyes, and as soon as that ball was thrown, he jumped, made the pick.
And now we get word there is a penalty flag on the field. They went to the Coeur d'Alene side to chat about it first, probably in the area blocking the back, and that's the case on the return. So it goes against Timberline, which has just been a turnover factory tonight.
Right after the pick, I was afraid we were going to have a blindside block with a few of the hits that we had on the return. So,
by my count, I believe that is 5 forced turnovers by Timberline. I don't know if I can count this high. They're going.
I think we have 3 fumbles and 2 interceptions, 1 pick 6.
They're just on an absolute roll out there defensively tonight.
I have to give a lot of credit to their defensive coordinator for Timberline, who's called a great game, got his kids ready to play. I'm missing that on there. I wonder if Coach Smart is the one that's calling their defense tonight.
So 1st and 10. Handoff and a quick hit in the backfield. A great job on the pursuit. So is that a 54 or a 64?
54.
Rylan Peterson. Hard to see the 5 versus the 6.
We have another penalty flag on that?
Looks like there is. They're looking at Coeur d'Alene's sideline again. So it's going to be on Timberline. Illegal formation on the Wolves is the call.
It's like Coeur d'Alene declined it, take the 2-yard loss instead.
Clock starts back up, 44 seconds, third quarter, a 9-point ball game. Timberline in the lead. Actually believe it's 6 forced turnovers. Add that interception to my counter after you said pick 6. At least 6.
Yes. We thought we were going to count sacks too, but that went out the window in the first quarter.
Yeah, the box score at the conclusion of this one is going to be awfully fun to see. A lot has happened in this game, and we still have 1 quarter left to play. A 3rd down and 10 coming up from Timberline inside their own 10 at the 7-yard line. It's the Wolves 16 and the Coeur d'Alene Vikings 7. We'll break, come back for the 4th quarter. You're listening to the Milk Bowl on IdahoSports.com. Tim's Special Cut Meats, your local old-fashioned butcher shop. Besides top-notch butchering and game processing services, they also sell premium meats, specialty groceries, and delicious deli goods, plus beef, pork, lamb, and buffalo, as well as smoked sausages and jerky. Better than the large retail outlets, Tim's is homegrown. Stop by today for custom meats, seasonings, grills, smokers, and more at their new location, 525 North Graffiti Street in Post Falls. You can also find out more online at timsspecialcutmeats.com. Well, 12 minutes left. It's all that separates one of these teams from a berth in the 6A state championship game to face the winner between Rigby and Rocky Mountain.
Yeah, Sven, you keep thinking that with a game this close and with having 6 turnovers, Coeur d'Alene would be way behind on the scoreboard, but it's still 16-7, close game.
It's a run for Lewis, and he won't get it. So 4th down, and the Wolves will have to punt.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about Timberline's defense, how well they've played. Coeur d'Alene under Coach Jeff Vesser, the defensive coordinator, has also done a great job tonight playing defense and keeping Timberline from really breaking any plays of any big plays.
The punter for Timberline, Jacob Everett, has come on. This will be great starting field position, it looks like, for Coeur d'Alene, because the punter is in the end zone about halfway back toward the line. He'll step into it and give it a pretty good boot. That might be one of his best punts of the night. Fair caught at the 45-yard line. An opportune time for the punter to come up big.
Yeah, great kick. That's probably, like you said, that's probably the best one he's had. Coeur d'Alene on the plus side of the 50 again, ready. Another chance to go down and get some points on the board.
Founded in 1949, Pioneer Title Company is an employee-based company centered around a going beyond culture which fosters the principles of family, respect, and openness. Pioneer offers title and escrow products, long-term escrows, contract purchasing, foreclosure services, and 1031 tax-deferred exchanges. Provides services in Idaho, Oregon, Nevada, Washington, and Wyoming. Pioneer Title, proud supporter of the Coeur d'Alene Vikings. Screen pass to a wide receiver up top, Jackson Hackett. And Hackett has the 40-yard line, a gain of 5, 2nd and 5.
It was a good wide receiver screen. Just get it out real quick and let the wide receiver do the work. This is a point. If I'm Coeur d'Alene, I'm thinking about maybe taking a shot, something downfield. Try and get a chunk play real quick. Take advantage of your field position.
10 minutes and 38 seconds left in this one. In regulation anyways. Rolling right. Stern has some time, guides his receiver down the field and finds him. Ian Dolan still going to around the 10-yard line. And a big gain of 30 yards for the Vikings.
Yeah, had number 5 coming in on that for Timberline, was in the backfield, and he kind of stopped thinking that was another screen pass. And Coeur d'Alene went downfield on a quick out, or a deep out.
Stern, quick pass, far side, no gain. Immediately dropped the receiver on the play, Jackson Hackett again.
Once again, quick pass to the outside, trying to get something up, trying to get something going. Get your receiver the ball quick and let them do the work.
We approach 10 minutes left in the ball game. We have not called a whole lot of Maddox Lindquist tonight. Watch out for him as Coeur d'Alene gets into the red zone here. Lined up in the slot on the near side. Stern to pass. Pressure comes and he throws it right off the face mask. Is that one of the linemen? Right off the face mask of an offensive lineman, Rylan Peterson.
It looked like they were trying to set up a screen and the the running back didn't get to where he needed to be for that pass.
Should be illegal touching on Coeur d'Alene, as it definitely went right at an offensive lineman. That one was pretty obvious here.
Every lineman's dream to catch a pass, but not in that way.
We'll see what our white hat has to say. And they'll throw it, yep. Took a while, they conferred. It's illegal touching for sure. The guilty party is Peterson, who didn't really do anything wrong there. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, turned around, and I think it drilled him in the face mask.
Yeah, right off the face mask.
He's had to go up against Andrew Price enough tonight. The last thing he wants is this.
Yeah.
He's already had himself a night.
Rough night for him. And once again, Coeur d'Alene, you move the ball, you have a couple positive plays, and then have a penalty, push you back, loss of down on that play.
3rd down and 15. It's a run. And well, that lets you know they're planning to, I'm going to guess, kick here. That was a very conservative play call. They're going to try and kick this.
Yeah, maybe hoping to catch Timberline asleep or catch a gash so that they could get some more yards. But you got a kicker that can kick from here. You turn it into a 1-point or 1-score game.
The holder is Daniel Shoup, and the kicker Frankie Lopez from 32 yards out, and he drilled it. One-score ball game.
He hit that one right down the middle. Great kick. Plenty of leg on that. Probably would have got could have got it from 15 yards further.
9:01 left in the 4th quarter. Timberline 16, Coeur d'Alene 10. And, you know, if you're the Vikings right there, you showed you could kind of move the ball down the field. So now you're banking on your defense to get a stop, get it right back in your offense's hands, score a touchdown. And this game, which has had a lot of things go wrong, you could head to the state championship. You don't care how it happens. You just want to get there.
If I'm Coeur d'Alene, I'm pretty excited right now to be within a touchdown, within 6 points of the lead, and to have as disastrous of a night as you had on offense, to be able to be here and you get a stop, you score a touchdown, get the extra point, you're ahead. There's no way they should be in that position with 6 turnovers they've had.
Score update in the other semifinal, Rigby 26, Rocky 7 in the 3rd quarter. So Rigby in the driver's seat in that other game.
Rigby's playing well against Rocky. They've got a stacked team. Have done a great job in that area, and we're just rolling along.
So Frankie Lopez to kick. Haven't seen a whole lot in the return game for either side today. It's been very intentional short kicks or toward the sideline. This one's going to be the short kick variety, and fair caught by Bates, just shy of the 35.
Yeah, once again, pretty good field position to start the drive off. We'll see if Timberline can get something going on offense. They've been struggling as well most of the game. Haven't had any big chunk plays. Really haven't moved the ball downfield. They had the one attempt at a long pass that was about a yard deep that they didn't complete. A lot of short little passes, a lot of runs, but great field position for them that they haven't taken advantage of most of the game.
Official spot is the 30, and Timberline will start from the left hash. 9:01, 4th quarter. Lewis to his right, complete to Scudder. Scudder has 7 yards, 2nd and 3.
Good quick pass, get the ball out of Hudson Lewis's hand quickly. Get a good positive gain to start the drive.
You always want to set yourself up with 2nd and 3rd and short.
Yes.
A lot higher percentage to move the sticks.
And here you can either play the save game, keep trying to run the clock, control the ball, or you could take a shot and see if you can connect on something deep.
Whole playbook open here on 2nd and short. And they'll burn plenty of clock. Get right back to where they snapped the ball from on the run, left side. 3rd down and 3. On the carry, Brody Ingroff.
Good defensive stop to read that play and make the stop. Really no gain, maybe a half a yard gain, but make it so it's 3rd and short.
Under 8 minutes now. And you can see Timberline very content to just let this clock run. They want to see if they can try and move the chains a couple of times on this drive and just keep it out of Coeur d'Alene's offense's hands.
And the way they played defense tonight, that's a great chance, great idea for them. Run the clock, pick up a couple of first downs, and make it to the state championship game.
The defense has been phenomenal on the Timberline side, getting pressure. Lewis, deep ball, down the left side, coming back for the football and making the catch at the 20-yard line is Hayden Hills.
And that was one of those that as a coach you say no, 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 yes. Great job to come down with that catch. There was a lot of contact between the receiver and the defensive back. No flag on the play. Just came back and wanted the ball.
Put a star next to that one. Ball was slightly underthrown. He had to come back for it, hauls it in. As Hills had a touchdown reception earlier, he now comes up with a huge grab there, and the Wolves are in field goal range at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10, 6:58 fourth quarter.
At this point, Timberline pretty happy to run the clock, run more time off.
Lewis to Engroff. To the 15. Gains 5, 2nd and 5. That was Brody on the carry.
Good surge from the offensive line to give him 5 yards before he got touched and make it a 2nd and 5.
What an incredible catch by Hayden Hills.
Yeah,
6'1" junior.
That was a play that could seal the game if they can punch this in here. Even a field goal will make it a 2-score game for Timberline.
We've been talking about the defense for Timberline the whole game. That was a star at play for the offensive side. That could potentially decide this football game depending on how the final 6 minutes unfolds. Lewis in the option, and he is shoestring tackled by Coeur d'Alene's Ben Murray.
Yeah, Hudson Lewis tried to make a juke move there and see if he could get him to bite, but Murray stuck his ground, was out there, made a good open field tackle. Loss of about 5 yards makes it 3rd and 10.
From the 20, they're right back to where they started this sequence. As the Wolves, be interesting to see if they go to the air or keep it on the ground here. How aggressive they want to be on 3rd down. They'll throw. Lewis looking, scrambling. The old Donovan McNabb scramble to his right, looking downfield still, tiptoes away from a couple defenders, still alive, and finally, after dancing around the entire Coeur d'Alene defense, he gains 1 yard.
That was one of the most exciting runs for 0 yards I've seen. Ran 60 yards to get back to the line of scrimmage.
They didn't even give him the yard. Right back to where he started. He's going to be gassed after that one. They might have to call a timeout.
That was a lot of hard work.
That is about as much running as you can humanly do from the quarterback position.
It's like they're sending them back out. Go for it on 4th down and trust your defense to get a stop with about 4.5 minutes left.
So it must not have been within the field goal range. So they will go for it, as you mentioned, up to the line, and whistle blows. As we mentioned, felt like they were going to have to call a timeout, and that's the case.
Yeah, it's a great timeout by the Timberline staff. Think about it, decide what you're going to do instead of rushing up to the line and being short on the play clock.
Hagen Clint has only connected and tried 2 field goals all season. One of them was earlier in this game. So that might be part of what we're seeing here. He is, however, 12 for 13 on the season, entering tonight on his PAT tries. This might be pushing his range a little bit, though.
And they are on the right hash, so that could go into their decision-making as well. If that's a weakness of their kicker, then maybe you're not comfortable doing it on that side of the field.
This is quite a decision. Seems like they'll go for it. Sometimes you see the timeout and they come out and they do something totally different than they lined up for the first time.
Hudson Lewis has done a good job at quarterback tonight to really not just keep his team going, but to find time and to scramble around. he's ran a lot of yards. I'm not sure how many he's ran forward, but he's moved a lot tonight.
They're going for it. Offense on the field with 4:21 left. 4th and 10 Timberline from the Coeur d'Alene 20-yard line. Lewis in the gun. He drops back. Here comes the pressure. Releases it over the middle. Caught. Touchdown Timberline. Nash O'Kelly.
Yeah, great play. He was Coeur d'Alene came out in a zone that time instead of a man defense. Found the soft spot in the zone and hit the post for a touchdown.
The passing game has been there when they needed it here tonight, and they needed it right there, and they got it again. The PAT good, up and through the uprights by Hagan Clint. And we have ourselves a 23-10 ball game with 4 minutes and 17 seconds remaining.
Great job to come back there from Timberline. Make those plays when they had to. It's kind of been the way they've worked a lot this season, making plays when they needed to, be able to win some tight games, having that confidence in themselves and their teammates. Coaches believing in them. It's been fun to see the return of Timberline.
As some score updates throughout the state. Again, we mentioned Rigby up 26-15 now on Rocky Mountain. BK and Skyline are tied at 14 in the fourth quarter. Hillcrest 30, Twin Falls 20 in the fourth quarter. Homedale beats Sugar Salem 30-20. Kimberly 28, Fruitland 14 in the fourth quarter. Nampa Christian 6, Westside 0. That game recently underway. It's in the second quarter. Kendrick 76, Grace 0 in the third quarter. Logos 20, Kamei nothing in the second. That is what's going on around the state right here. It is Timberline 23, Coeur d'Alene 10, 4:17 remaining in the fourth quarter, and Coeur d'Alene going to have to put up some points and do it in a hurry.
Yeah, a few surprises on those scores you gave us. Possibly a few upsets tonight in the semifinals, but you get to this point and you're never sure what happens. Coeur d'Alene's got to give a chance to get some points on the board and do it quick.
J.D. Mylander gets a good boot into it. About the 30-yard line. Here comes a return, though. Hudson Gray on the far sideline, and he's still going. Tiptoes to the 30, down to the 20, still going to the 10, and down at the 8. Penalty flags fly at the end, but that's going to be a huge return regardless for Hudson Gray.
We mentioned they need to score quick. That was almost really quick on that. Got the ball down around the 14-yard line, but penalty flag there.
So they should back it up from the spot. Still going to be great starting field position for the Coeur d'Alene Vikings. They needed something, and they got it right there. And they've got a couple of breaks tonight. This is a good one on their side.
Keep saying you let a good team hang around long enough, they're going to make some plays and make you pay.
So it is a hold, and it'll drop them to the 24. Still phenomenal field position to start this drive.
Great place to start. Get that quick score, and might make it so you don't even have to try an onside kick to get the ball back.
This thing is definitely not over yet. As Coeur d'Alene trying to have another word for it on their offensive side. 1st and 10 from the 24. Ball on the left hash for Tanner Stern and the Viking offense. Play action, man wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Coeur d'Alene.
That was too easy. Let the guy get right behind your defensive back. Easy throw, easy catch for a quick 6.
Maddox Lindquist, the touchdown reception.
We've been waiting to see that all game. Not sure how he got so open.
And in a snap of a finger, Coeur d'Alene is right back in this game. And they got a good kicker who they'll bring out to try the PAT. And this is an advantage in this situation as Frankie Lopez drills it through the uprights. And now we've got ourselves in a really interesting game because it's a 6-point ball game. If Coeur d'Alene gets another touchdown and a PAT, they can win this thing.
Yeah, they could win it pretty easily. And right now, like I said, you've still got 3 minutes, 58 seconds left on the clock. No need to try an onside kick and give Timberline great position. You can still kick it deep. Trust your defense. It's been pretty solid most of the night. And get the ball back. Your offense is finally moving and going.
29 seconds ago when Hudson Lewis connected with Nash O'Kelly and made it a 13-point game, it felt like this one might just be about over. The huge kick return for Hudson Gray. And Coeur d'Alene suddenly saying, hold on a second.
You don't drive this far to come down here and just roll over. You still have a chance to make it to the state final game. Keep playing, keep pushing. You never know what happens. It's kind of like we were talking on the way to the game. You get 16, 17, 18-year-old boys. You never know what could happen. So trust in each other, trust in what you've been doing all year. Good things can happen.
Just over the 2-hour mark into this football game. It's going to come down to the final 3:58. 6-point lead for Timberline, and they are back deep to receive the kick, which is blown dead. Whistle.
Coeur d'Alene was ready to go before the officials were.
Always good to see solid officiating crews in the state playoffs, and that's what we've got here today from District 6, a crew led by the white hat Marshall Marler.
Yeah, being in the eastern side of the state, I've worked with these guys before. They're a solid crew. They do a good job. They work together well, which is what makes them so good. They communicate.
So if they try and squib it or something of that nature again, they'll squib it. It's taking a nice positive bounce to the 24-yard line where it's returned by Scudder to around the 30.
Yeah, now it's Timberline. You got to figure out a way to get some momentum back. Try and get a few first downs, keep the ball on the ground, run the clock. You still have the lead. You now have to play with the lead.
It's now 32-15, Rigby over Rocky in the other semifinal.
Rigby looks kind of like they're headed to get to the state final game again.
First and 10, 3:54 left. 29-yard line in their own territory for the Timberline Wolves. 3-yard gain on the ground by Brody Engroff.
It's always interesting in high school football games to listen to crowds. We can hear the Coeur d'Alene crowd across from us more than the Timberline crowd right next to us. Those momentum shifts. Can Timberline get the momentum back that they had after that touchdown pass just a minute ago in the game?
We might have to take a long post-game break here to try and figure out who the player of the game is going to be, depending on how these last 3 minutes go. Stay tuned for that. Lewis being chased. His pass low but caught along the far sideline by Hayden Hills, who's having himself a fantastic game.
Yeah, I was surprised they'd throw in that situation, but it was a fairly safe pass that he threw. Get a first down.
First down. He'll move the sticks.
Now, Coeur d'Alene, you have to start thinking about getting stops here and using your timeouts to save some clock. Just under 3 minutes.
Wolves have it at their own 39-yard line after the first down. As if they can get another first down, they're going to give themselves some really good odds here. Coeur d'Alene still punching back on both sides of the ball. As that pass nowhere near the intended receiver. I think it kind of did the old wild thing from the movie Major League. That thing was just a bit outside.
Yeah, it surprised me a little bit to throw in that situation when you have the lead and about 2:33 left in the game, but that stops the clock. And it was a little dangerous, some of those defensive backs. If they'd have read that a little better, that would have been a pick six, and we might be talking about Coeur d'Alene taking the lead.
Sometimes you've got to push the envelope a little bit and see what happens. That's what Timberline was trying to do on that first down play, but you're correct, stops the clock, and that could prove to be awfully costly as we move forward, and now they'll stop it again here. Timeout, Timberline, as they seemed a little bit disjointed coming out prior to the second down play.
Yeah, they didn't have they didn't have 11 guys on the field. They had to run one guy on real quick. That leaves them with one timeout left, and Coeur d'Alene has all 3 timeouts.
So again, a little unconventional there on that first down play, but they're trying to win the game, and sometimes you take some risks. It's just you kind of wonder, they look back on that one and say, man, I wish we had that back.
Yeah, is that the right risk to take at that point in the game? If you complete it, it looks great. If you don't, everybody starts to question you. The joys of being an offensive coordinator.
You're everybody's favorite person when it's going well. It's like the backup quarterback. Everybody loves the backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Except for the New York Giants. They don't like Russell Wilson. Other than that, everybody likes the backup quarterback.
Well, their backup quarterback changes every week, I think.
It's changing again. Jameis Winston's going to start this week.
That's what I saw. I was a little surprised with that.
2nd and 10, 2:33 left, and a whistle blows again. This one's saying, let's play. Lewis tackled low and brought down by Ben Murray. We've called his name multiple times. 3rd down, and timeout again. This time, I believe it'll be by Coeur d'Alene.
That was, he had a lot of room out there, and if 33 doesn't tackle him, he might have gotten the first down by himself on that play.
So 6 seconds tick off the clock. They'll actually add a couple, so 2:29 is what they'll reset it to. I believe Coeur d'Alene can still stop the clock too.
They've still got 2 timeouts left. So that incomplete pass really helped Coeur d'Alene to save a timeout on that first down play.
So a big opportunity here for the Coeur d'Alene defense. As they were down by 13 a couple minutes ago. Now they are one stop away from getting the football back with a chance to take the lead and win the game.
Yeah, with about 2.5 minutes left with their ability for some big play opportunities. That's plenty of time for them to do it.
The tides have turned for the Vikings. Can the Wolves reverse their fortunes here? 3rd down and 10. Lewis looking right, still looking, throws it up, out of bounds, incomplete. Clock stops with 2:23. Coeur d'Alene has forced a punt.
Wow. Roll your quarterback out, nobody to throw to, great defensive backs, and the great coverage in defensive backfield, and meant to throw it out of bounds, so he didn't throw a pick. Now they're set up with 4th and 10 and back in punt formation.
Coeur d'Alene's really ramped up the pressure late in this football game.
Yeah. Once again, 6 turnovers. You let them hang around long enough, they've got enough confidence.
Jacob Everett's punt from the 30-yard line. Special teams played a big role at multiple points earlier. This time it's returned shy of the 40-yard line by Maddox Lindquist, who had the touchdown reception on the previous drive.
That was a good job by Fletch Scudder to get down there and make the tackle. Make sure he didn't get many more yards.
So this drive will start with 2:13 on the clock from their own 39-yard line.
We haven't called Andrew Price's number on defense as much the last little bit. We'll see if he can continue to make a difference on the defensive side.
They've started to mitigate him a little bit. Play action. Stern passing down the field, has a man. It's up in the air, deflected, intercepted. An incredible pick by Carl Franson. Shoved down at the 30-yard line. A deep ball just lobbed up with 5 men in the area, multiple of them on the defensive side, and another turnover. The 7th of the ball game, forced by the Timberline Wolves defense.
That was amazing. He had a couple of receivers deep. The ball was thrown just a little bit under. Bounced off of 2 different guys before they came up with the interception. Timberline. Team of miracles, maybe.
And now the clock is definitely not the friend of the Coeur d'Alene Vikings, but looking at the board, it does appear they have 2 timeouts.
Yeah, with 2 incomplete passes for Timberline's last drive. They only had to use 1 timeout, so they've still got 2 left.
So if that timeout counter is correct, that is going to play a big role here late. This one by no means over. As the ball deflects off of 1 man on the snap, and then whistles blow. Going to be a snap infraction, it looks like, on Timberline. We'll wait for the signal. Yep, snap infraction. Well, you don't see that every day.
Wow.
Center for the Wolves is Rafe Stump.
You start to wonder in a game like this, who's going to make the play? Who's going to make the right play, not the wrong play, that can win their team a game?
And there have been plenty of plays made on both sides. Just an incredible back and forth affair here tonight. And we still have no idea who's going to win this thing. It's going to come right down to the end.
All game, it's been a great defensive game. So if defensive is your thing, this is a great game to watch.
1st and 15 after that snap infraction. Hand off to the deep back, gain of 5 to bring up 2nd and 10.
Quick timeout by Coeur d'Alene.
Brody Engroff on the carry. Well, you look at this stat sheet here tonight for Timberline. You got interceptions by Hudson Lewis, Austin Engroff, Owen Froelich, Carl Franzen. Fumble recoveries by Jacob Everett and Andrew Price. I mean, stacking them up.
Yeah, that's tough to figure out who to give the game ball to in a game like this. Been so many different players make big plays.
Then we definitely know who made the most plays, it seems like, throughout the course of this one.
Yes.
The guy that we called a ton has been Andrew Price.
And a lot of those plays won't show up on the stat sheet.
Right. You got to credit some of the guys around him, though. They have really stepped up and made big plays late in this game.
Yeah, we'll see. They have 2nd and 10 now with 1:54 left on the clock.
Expect them to keep it on the ground that they showed on the last drive. They are not afraid to put it in the air and see what happens. A 1st down would basically seal it at this point with just 1 more Coeur d'Alene timeout. Another run play about a yard, 3rd down and 9, and Coeur d'Alene you would expect will burn that final timeout, and they do with 1:47 on the clock. So they are 1 more stop away from getting it back in their offense's hands.
Yeah, it was surprising on that last drive. You get a backup quarterback that normally plays wide receiver, and you try and throw it twice. When you're around 2.5 minutes left in the game, you'd think you'd run it, make sure make sure Coeur d'Alene uses all their timeouts. But they just used their last one there with 1:49 left. 3rd down. If you don't get the 1st down here from Timberline and punt the ball away, then Coeur d'Alene's going to get the ball with still over a minute left.
Bishop Kelly has defeated Skyline 21-20 to advance to the state championship game.
Good semifinal games tonight around the state.
Well, this 3rd down going to decide this one, at least for now, and then something else will decide it in a minute.
Yeah, I think we said that a few minutes ago, that 3rd down would decide the game. We'll see what happens here.
3rd and 9, their own 32-yard line. Ball on the right hash, 1:49 remaining. And the Wolves leading Coeur d'Alene 23-17. Quarterback tonight, Hudson Lewis, trying to look for 1 more miraculous play. He'll receive it, roll left, eyes down the field, pocket collapsing around him, still looking, backing up toward the sideline, and he will just safely go out of bounds, but it stops the clock. So he didn't throw an interception, but stopping the clock is about one of the only things Timberline didn't want to do there.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the pass play came from. I understand you're trying to get the 10 yards, put the game away. It just saved another 25 seconds for Coeur d'Alene to work with. Trust your defense a lot.
Another punt. Pressure comes. Cleanly getting it off is Jacob Everett. It's a bouncer. Taken at the 30-yard line. On the return for the Coeur d'Alene Vikings is Daniel Shoup. Shoup over to midfield and to the 49-yard line. So 49 yards stand in front of the Coeur d'Alene Vikings and the state championship. And on the other side, Timberline has to get a stop here.
What a game. Great back and forth. Kids making plays. Coaches making good calls. We'll see what Coeur d'Alene has in mind. If you're Timberline, you got to make sure nobody gets behind you. We've let that happen a few times recently and haven't gotten enough pressure on the quarterback. So he's been able to at least get the ball off.
First down and 10, right hash mark. Stern stepping into the shoes of Caden Simmons awfully well here over the last month plus. He'll throw over the hands of a defensive player who was eagerly waiting at that one. Incomplete. And I think Stern's happy that that one fell to the ground.
Yeah. That was close. Tried to get over number 5, Benton Bates. And Benton Bates almost went up and grabbed that for an interception.
Second down, 1:24 on the clock, which is stopped right now. 2 receivers to each side and a tight end on the left side of the line. Stern dropping back. He's got plenty of time to throw, tries to dump it off. On a short pass, it's incomplete. They're probably happy that that one fell to the ground, as it would have been a loss of 1 or 2 anyways. Shoup, the intended target.
Coeur d'Alene was trying to set up a middle screen, and the defensive line for Timberline read it really well and didn't chase the quarterback, but we're all over the receiver.
Third down and 10. 1:19 left. The ball is in Timberline territory at the 49-yard line. Trips receivers up top, 1 down to the bottom. Ty Pollen is the back. Pressure comes. Pass over the middle, incomplete. Too high for Lindquist.
That was a good throw. He had pressure in his face. Got sandwiched by the 2 defensive ends there and still was able to throw a catchable pass through the hands.
And we've said it numerous times. This is for the ball game.
Again.
4th down and 10. From the 49, Timberline looking to get a stop and head to the state championship, while the Coeur d'Alene Vikings try to keep their season alive here with 1:15 left. Stern, good pocket, pass near side, it's incomplete! Turnover on downs, Timberline takes over.
Ball just thrown a little bit wide there, had an open receiver and missed him on the sidelines. I think even if he catches that, that's short of a first down. Wow, that was a pretty good throw by the side judge there, throwing the ball back over to the Coeur d'Alene sidelines. 49 yards in the air. Pretty good for an official.
He's a professional. He's been here a time or 2.
It's not his first game.
So first down and 10 for Timberline, which will go right into that victory formation. You talked about it earlier. They want to do it a couple 3 times. Well, they're going to do it 3 times here by the time the night's over, as they'll need to kneel down twice for the clock to expire on this one.
I want to make sure you get a good snap. Take care of the ball. Some good sportsmanship showing between the players. Shaking some hands, congratulating each other before the game goes final.
Under 1 minute, they'll wait for the clock to go under 40. And then they'll be able to celebrate tonight in Boise. a back-and-forth affair, and ultimately, at the end of the day, it's the forced turnovers by this Timberline defense that played the biggest role in the Wolves advancing to the 6A state championship game. They hold off a pesky Coeur d'Alene Viking football team and will win this one 23-17.
Great show by both teams. Defensive battle back and forth. Continue to just make the plays when they need to make the plays. A lot of turnovers, a lot of stops inside the 20. Great job by both teams. Both represented their schools and their communities well. Congratulations to the Timberline group and for Coeur d'Alene for sticking in that game despite all the turnovers they had.
So again, we will take a break and come back shortly for our IdahoSports.com player of the game. Your final score, Timberline 23, Coeur d'Alene 17. Back after this on IdahoSports.com.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Idaho.
This message presented by the IHSAA and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
May I offer you one of our finest selections? Delicious, rich in protein, and locally produced right here in Idaho. Excellent choice, sir.
Satisfied dairy customer, I'll send.
Dad's home.
I'm home.
Did you get the good stuff?
He's lining it up. He's going in. He scores!
Idaho's 529 can be used at any in-state or out-of-state 2- or 4-year college or university. Can be used at a trade school for an apprenticeship.
Whatever it is that your kid is interested in, that's available for them to use the fund.
I really like the flexibility. It gives Wild the opportunity to pursue a whole array of training.
So whatever your child's passion is, you can support that.
To learn more, go to
Your final score from the 6A semifinal at Donna Larson Park here tonight in Boise. Timberline 23, Coeur d'Alene 17. The Wolves are off to the state championship where they will await the winner of the Rigby Rocky Mountain game, which is going on right now in the fourth quarter. You can tune into that one on IdahoSports.com. As we mentioned, we want to do one thing here tonight, and that is to announce our player of the game, brought to you by the Idaho Office of Highway Safety. Of course, great sponsor of our player of the game every week, and this one is very challenging statistically because there were so many guys on the Timberline side with one interception, one fumble recovery, one touchdown. They had everybody come up big here in tonight's game, but the name that we called consistently throughout, if you were following along, the left tackle on offense and a menace on the defensive side of the football on the line, Andrew Price is going to be our IdahoSports.com player of the game here tonight.
Yeah, he set the tone from the first play of the game, just harassing the quarterback, the running backs from Coeur d'Alene all night. There's a few of those picks that wouldn't have happened without him. I believe he forced a fumble, he recovered a fumble, multiple sacks, multiple hurries. To us, it was a fairly easy decision, but it's different to call a defensive lineman as your player of the game. So
he impacted the game throughout. So congratulations to Andrew Price. This has been an IdahoSports.com GameStreams production of the 2025 Idaho High School Football Playoffs. This postseason broadcast presented by Project Filter, your local Toyota dealer. Your Health Idaho, Next Steps Idaho, Ideal, Idaho's College Savings Plan, the Idaho Bowl, Valleywide Cooperative, and the Idaho Office of Highway Safety. Our local sponsors for the Coeur d'Alene Vikings tonight were Tim's Special Cut Meats, Super One Foods, and Pioneer Title Company. Special thanks to Athletic Director Tal Grapp and everyone here at Donald Larson Park for their hospitality and help in getting this game broadcast to you. Congratulations again to our IdahoSports.com Player of the Game presented by the Idaho Office of Highway Safety. It's Andrew Price. Thanks for joining us as the Timberline Wolves defeat the Coeur d'Alene Vikings by a score of 23-17. For my broadcast partner Craig Miller and everyone else behind the scenes here at IdahoSports.com, I'm Sven Elskog saying so long until next time. Good night, everybody.